Mm. Peaceful greetings to you all. Can you see that? Uh, okay, a little bit, a little bit. All right, so black. Let me see if I can. Uh, all right. Black means no lawful status. That's all it means. White means a lawful status. That's all it means. These do not pertain to skin complexion, nor do they stand for diverse nations. If you are a part of a nation, your classification means white. You have a lawful standing. If you are not a part of a nation, then black means you have no lawful standing. Let's talk about it. Where else can we find this information? Right? Race and ethnicity. Race and ethnicity. We find the black and the white status and their definitions on the standard form 181. Okay. I'm going to show you. All too often, particularly with this Moorish movement, I notice the miseducation, right? Or the misapplication being presented by people who think that they believe in their heart, right? That they're speaking something competent and they're not. So most people believe that black and white deals with race. And so we're going to go to the race and ethnicity form. And we're going to see, what does black mean? Hold on. What is the racial classification of black? It says black or African American. So this is a quote unquote racial category. Your racial category determines your commercial stat, just your status at law. Okay. Black means Black according to the race and ethnicity form. The classification means a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. All right? White means white means, let me see. Yeah, I can see that. White means a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Wouldn't North Africa be one of the black racial groups of Africa? No, I guess not, right? Yet, some way, somehow, Africa has a white status. Africa has a black status. But black deals with racial groups. White deals with original people, actual people. Okay? Black has nothing to do with people. It says so right here. It does not make mention of any people. It makes reference to persons. So, what's a person? A man considered according to rank, to the rank. He holds in society. With all the rights to which the place he holds entitles entitles him.
And the duties which it imposes.
And the duties okay. Okay. Right. So this also said person and persona. The words person and persona have a synonymous link. So person is a man considered according to the rank he holds. So a person, a black person, has no rank because it deals with racial groups of Africa, but not any countries in Africa. White deals with people, right? And their rank, a person having origins, this is the rank. In the original peoples, this is the rank of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Black is a non-living status. Black is an unrecognized identity. There is no such place as African America. Did you know that? Africa and America, putting them together, right, doesn't make a living person. When we say African, what part of Africa are we referring to? In white, we have North Africa. In North Africa, you have Islamic rank. North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe have Muslim or Islamic rank. Black is a social status. It is the lowest class of citizenship. Would you like to see with your own eyes a black person or a black persona, a black personality, and a white personality? Let me show you. This is a black persona. This is a black persona. Y'all know what this is. This has no standing in law. It doesn't identify a living personality. It identifies an empty vessel personality. And when you laugh, you go. See you later, new life. All right. This is a white personality. All right. This personality has standing because it belongs to an estate. This is the estate. And this is the speaker of the estate. This is the trustee of the estate. This is the beneficiary. That's all this is. It can't do for itself. It's just there to hold and receive. When you look at the social construct of the SF 181 standard form, right? If you look down there, you'll see in the definition category that all of these definitions minus black has the expression origins in any of the original peoples. Peoples means citizens. The people and the state or the land, they are one. I know that everybody, and I know that every living human being is brown, whether they're dark brown or light brown. Their shades vary. And I know that black means uh, without rank. And I know that white means with rank. In their most basic sense, that's what I know. I know that it doesn't have anything to do with the complexion of my skin. Those who are identified as blacks, Negroes, coloreds, etc., they cannot identify the land, the nation, the state, or the country that they descend from. Ask anyone who calls himself black, Negro, colored, or African American from what country, from what area, right, in Africa do your ancestors descend from? Because your ancestors, they have estates, okay? And to have an estate means that they have authority, they have standing, they have recognition. I know that the North Africans were here in America. I know that the Asians of the Middle East, the Hindus and etc., were in America, and I know that the Europeans were in America, and I know that they were here prior to Christopher Columbus. This I know, right? Black is a designation for personalities that don't identify any living quality. It's a holding status. Like a servant holds something for you, right? Or like your employee does for you those things only that they are allowed to do. They don't really have any say so or influence, right, in how anything is administrated. Well, yellow, brown, orange, red, green with polka dots, those things don't even apply here. They don't apply here. I've never seen brown people, yellow people as as an indicator of anyone's status or birth right. I only see black and white. So I know that again, black and white ain't got nothing to do with your skin tone. It's just saying, hey, are you dead at law? Or are you living at law? Socially, black just means a debtor. Black just means one who is in debt, one who owes to another. So there are sometimes, in certain capacities, which people will be in the position of owing. All right? There are times when we are in the position of debtorship. But white means one who is owed. Okay? One who is owed. Aren't you owed 40 acres and a mule? Aren't you owed the right to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness? Right? Now, when you put these together, you can work them the way they needs to be worked. Hey, look, if I owe somebody, here's the debit. Hey, if I'm owed something, here's the credit. Hold on one second. Let me see here. Nationalities are always. So white means you have a status, a state of mind that is in uniform or in solidarity with other like minds. That's what you. Everyone who has a nationality has a white status. Just take it upon yourself if you have European friends of pale skin descent, right? Of pale descent. Because Europe doesn't mean pale skin either. It doesn't mean that. But if you have friends, right, of pale skin descent, and you ask them, hey, what's your nationality? Or, hey, where's your great grandmother and grandfather from? They'll tell you, oh, they're from Poland, they're from Hungary, they're from Italy, you know, they're from here, they're from there. They'll tell you. They know. Right? Or if you have a Middle Eastern, an Asian friend, and you ask them, hey, where's your people? They'll be like from Hindustan or, from Cambodia, China, Japan, Pakistan. They'll tell you. They'll tell you where their people are from. Now, if you ask a black individual, someone who identifies as black, they don't know where they're from. But if you ask someone of North African descent, hey, where are you from? They'll be like, hey, my ancestors are from Morocco or Mauritania or Libya, the Sudan, Ethiopia, Egypt. They'll tell you. Black is a status that says, hey, I'm not from anywhere. That's all it really gets down to. All right, I'm going to have to take you off. Oh, no, I'll let you do what you're doing. I'm just not going to respond to it. I appreciate you putting what you're putting in a room trying to teach my class. I think you should definitely take that valid, valuable information and teach it on your class. I think you should take that because that's good information. I feel like you should take that to your platform and teach that. Talk about that. We're talking about this right now. This is a U.S. citizen with no state, with that's not associated or affiliated with the original peoples of any state, country, or nation. This is a U.S. citizen that's affiliated with Pennsylvania and whose ancient national descent is of North African descent. Right? You see, I got my fez on. I'm letting you know, I have North African ancestry. I know where my ancestors are from. And I know that I was born here in America, so I know that I'm a U.S. citizen, but that I have two selves. I know that. I know that I have two personas, right? Because debits equal credits. You can't divide the two. So I know that I have a stateless identity, and then I have a state identity that speaks on behalf of. This is your debtor, this is your creditor. These are your two selves. These are your two personas or your two persons. Let's get a deeper meaning of person. Because I often hear individuals speak on A person is an artificial construct. Yes, a person is an artificial construct. We're not persons, correct. We're not persons. People have persons. As a matter of fact, before I get into the law dictionary, I'll show you. Have you ever read the Bill of Rights? Let me read Article 4 for you. The right of the people to be secure in their persons. So you're not a person, you have one. And it specifically gave a plurality or a duplicity. I have two persons. This person has been secured through this person. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? For now, I'm going to take you yeah. Off-duty alibi. Were you clocked in when you were accused of a crime? Okay. Just taking a moment. Well, if you wish to share with me, put it in my messages, family. Don't put it in a class. Brother Hassan, Assalamu alaikum, akhi. Akhi al-Hassan. Person. Oh. And so y'all know where I'm getting my information from. Okay. My definitions from. It also says persons are divided by law into natural and artificial. Where did I place it? A natural person in full life, still artificial, low key though, but an artificial. Okay. Then it says natural persons are as such. Excuse me. Are such as the God of nature formed us. So natural persons are such as the God of nature formed us. So constitutional law. constitutional, covenant, agreement. The people have agreed that this is the way. Okay? And then, now mind you, this was my own. I played. This is not in the definition. So if you were to have this, you wouldn't see this particular part. This is me pointing that out for yourself. Okay, and then artificial or such as artificial, okay, or such as I'm gonna read it as I see it, are created and devised by human laws I'm gonna have to take that out right there so that I don't misdirect. All right, that makes it better. Okay, so persons, right? Persons are such as natural persons, or such as the God of nature formed us. So this is universal law, right? Like the seven hermetic principles, right? So natural persons are that which is in the mind. Artificial persons are such as are created and devised by human laws, statutes, codes, etc. for the purpose of society and government, which are called corporations. Corporations or bodies politic. This is not a corporate entity, but this is a corporate entity. Well, let me rephrase that. This is public. This is private. These are how these artificial persons are how natural persons operate in commerce. These are the accounts, the written accounts for the natural persons to keep record. All right. So, mind you, black is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Well, even though that's an artificial status, there are no black racial groups in Africa, and so these are not valid corporate identities. These are not bodies politic, right? This was issued to you by a state, right? This was also issued to you by the state, but you had to return this. I pledge my allegiance. I pledge this as collateral in order to receive this, which is a corporation or a body's politic. And so this artificial has black status. It's stateless. This artificial person has white status. It is in law. It is in line with the state. Both of these work for the natural person. Now, if God created us and God is the mind and we were created in God's image, then that natural personality, because person just means person, it means property, that natural property is within. It's not out here in the physical. These are out here in the physical. So we have people out here running around in humanity believing that black is a status that means to be recognized. And most of us, I know I definitely was miseducated because there was a time when I knew not, you know. But again, there are people out here who believe that black means dark brown and that white means light brown or pale brown. They are incompetent. Did you know that a black person did you know that black personality, the black person, right? You see it. The ideology, the social ideology of a black personality is that of a minor. And a minor can be a child, like mine, or a mind incompetent to abide by and or enforce its rights. You know, any black person is basically identified as someone who doesn't know, they don't understand the rules of society. Okay? We're going to take out our feelings, right? This is not me speaking down on anyone who may feel as though black is a people, but we definitely just realized, according to America, right? If we're going to stay in law, American law, according to American law, a black person has no origin in any original people. Okay, so it is incompetent. That's what it's incompetent. It doesn't have any say so. Did y'all know that? A minority. So either you're running around. Now, running around saying, hey, I'm black, you're saying that, hey, I identify as the debtor or as that which must be secured. It must be secured because it can't stand up for itself. That's what black means. It doesn't mean people of dark skin. It does not mean people of dark skin. There are people of dark skin in Asia, Africa, Europe, the Americas, Australia, and I'm pretty sure when Antarctica was popping, there were dark skinned people there. There were all different complexions of people there. Dark skin does not mean black. Again, I showed you North African. North African has a white status. Well, you find dark skin, brown, mid skin, and pale skin people all throughout North Africa. Muammar Gaddafi was pale skinned. He was still a white African. I'm trying to think of someone of notoriety. Most of y'all might not be familiar with, but there was a brother named Abdul Hamid Suleiman who was from North Africa. He was from the Sudan. And he had white status, and he was as dark as coal. To have a black personality or to continually act in this manner is to say that you don't know your rights. A child doesn't know their rights. They're learning it. An entry-level worker doesn't know everything about the business. They just know that little bit that they've been informed. This is like a disability if you're running around here identifying as such. Yes. So let me show you all that. Let me show you what the beloved just put up there. So black in civil law, black has the status of civiliter mortus. Civiliter means civil. We're talking civil law. And mortus, like morch, mortuary, mortician, morgue, mortgage, means lacking life or dead, if you will, not living. White I think there might be two L's in that. White means civiliter vivos, in full life. In order to be recognized by the people of the state, you have to be on the same footing as the people of the state. They have to see you. Are you familiar with the movie Avatar? Remember how Jake Sully, who was the foreigner, right? He was trying to speak before he was adopted in. He was trying to speak, and the one brother who was a part of the group told him, you can't speak it. He's not recognized by the people. He's not recognized as one of the people. You have to sit outside. You cannot speak here because these matters are matters pertaining to the people of the state. You don't have the same conscious mind. You're not a part of our cause. You are not recognized as one with the people. Jake Sully was blacklisted. They said, you cannot speak here. right? But through amalgamate or through adoption and him showing that he can definitely abide by the rules, the laws, the regulations of the people, he was now accepted. He received civil recognition with the people. He became one of the people. And so now he was able to speak and be heard. People were willing to hear, what did you have to say about the situation? Because you're now one of the people. The birth certificate personality, it treats to this. All right. It's not, it's the employee. This is the boss. This is the worker. This is the investor or the shareholder. This is the stock. This is the stockholder. This is the thing owed to this thing here. So again, black and white have nothing to do with your skin tone, but if you accept that ideology, you'll be listed as a serf, which is one who does not know the language of law. And for those who are of pale skin descent, right, who are just born into the white status classification, you will still be abused because in reality, until you get to this point, excuse me, right, technically you're still this. Technically. Right? Until you, this shows that I have white standing. This shows that I have recognition with the people of the state of Pennsylvania, right? I am of equal standing and status as every representative. I am a representative of Pennsylvania. This is not a representative of Pennsylvania. Now, of course, this is showing that there is a manipulation going on. Be not fooled. All of Americans have been misled, have been miseducated, and have been pitted one against another. So while they're doing all of this fighting, they're ignoring those who continue to benefit from the miseducation. Right? Black, here we go. Black means out of your mind. Excuse me. Black means non-recognized citizen. That's a non-citizen national. This, for those of you who like to use that, just know that black is a non-citizen national. Because a citizen, and I'll get to that next just to show that, prove that point. Black means a non-recognized citizen. Well, there's many of people out here who say, I'm not a citizen. All right, well, okay. Okay. White means a fully recognized citizen. So one is stateless or nationless, and one is a state citizen or a national. One is outside of the law. The law is the constitutional agreement of the people, of the state. And white means in law or lawful. Hold on 1 second, y'all. And we're back. So, for all of my I'm not a citizen individuals, and again, I'm not here to change your mind, okay? I'm not here to argue with you. If that is your stance, by all means, stand on your business, but be advised. So we're going to find out what a citizen is, and then we're going to place black citizen, black means stateless, and white citizen, white means state. We're going to be able to place them there and see what's actually being expressed here. What is a citizen? Oh, a citizen. What is a citizen? What is the definition? Because if we have the definition, then we can enforce the definition regardless of how anyone tries to spin it, right? All right. What is a citizen? A citizen in general is a member. That was so about it. A member of a free city or jural society possessing all the rights and privileges which can be enjoyed. Sounds like happiness right there. By any person under its constitution and government and this is the part I see a lot of people begin and subject to. It's like they want all the rights, but they don't want to be subject to the responsibilities, which is completely retarded. Subject to the correspondence, law of correspondence, corresponding duties. All right. Now, in American law, a citizen is Okay. So now we have the law definition of what it means. What does the word citizen mean? One of the sovereign people. A constituent member of the sovereignty, synonymous with the people. This term, constituent member. And then we have a person under its constitution. They're the same thing. Under the Constitution of Pennsylvania, vested in me. I am a citizen I'm a citizen of the state. What? There is what? Your life is flagged for hate speech and hateful behaviors. Whatever. We're going to keep this going. Because this is not hate speech. This is love showing the truth. Whatever, TikTok. We're not worried about that. This is a citizen of the state. This is a constituent member of the sovereignty, synonymous with the people. This personality is synonymous with the people. This personality is not. So, for those of you, I'm not a U.S. citizen. Okay, that's fine. I'm a U.S. citizen of the state, and my U.S. stateless citizen is evidence. I gave it to the state. I gave it to my U.S. Department of State. I said, hey, I'm giving you what was given to me so that I could receive full recognition. I said too much heat. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But you do have people out here, right, talking about I'm not a citizen, I'm a non-citizen nation. Well, a citizen is a member of the Jural Society, possessing the rights and privileges which can be enjoyed by any person under its constitution and government. So by saying you're a non-citizen national, you're saying I'm not under the Constitution. I don't have any provisions under the Constitution. I'm just basically freeloading in the land. You know how you got those sovereign citizens who try to make claims on other individuals' property, and they get to squatting. When you say you're a non-citizen national, you're saying you're squatting. You squatting? I'm a non-citizen national. So, of what nation then? Where is your citizenship? If you are a non-citizen national, what nation are you talking about? It's just my question, you know. I'm a citizen. As a matter of fact, both of these are my citizens. These are my citizens. And I choose to work off the one that protects this one. This is personal and public. This is private and real. Are you not a member of any of the states? If you're not, citizen means member. Family, member. If you're not a citizen of the state, then you don't have any rights to the state. You don't have any birth rights to any of the benefits that come with being a member of the state. Again, like the scenario I used not too long ago with the movie Avatar and Jake Sully, right? Jake Sully was basically a non-citizen national of the Na'vi people. Where did he come from? He came from a different land called Earth. He was a non-citizen national. He was a non-member. He was from somewhere else, just all up in their territory. But he learned the ways of the people. He became a constituent member of the group. And he was recognized as a citizen of what was it? Pangaea? Is that what they call it? Pandora? I'm not sure what the land, but he became one of the people. He was adopted in. And as long as he abides by, right, as long as he acts as a true investor, right, for the benefit of the people, because state and people are the same, the land and the people are one, right? As long as he acts in accordance with the laws of the people, he can benefit from it. The moment Jake Sully goes against the law and gets to acting in just this lower capacity, his citizenship is removed. And he's like, return home. Now, in the instance that someone in the group who was born, right, Jake Sully was naturalized. Okay. But in the event that someone in the group decided to not follow the rules, well, they can't lose their national descent, but they can be exiled. So now it's like, you got to get out of here. And now you don't have anywhere really to go. See, Jake Sully got somewhere to go back to. You see what I'm saying? But as an individual who's a part of the group and you're not following the rules, yeah, right. We can't say that you're not one of the people, but we don't recognize you anymore. So now you got to go somewhere. Get out of here. We don't accept. You've broken the rules, and we've given you mercy, and you broke them again. Well, you got to go. Go find somewhere else. Now he has to go in order to be protected, right? You've got to find somewhere else to naturalize into. So, I am a citizen of the United States. I have 2 citizenship statuses, and I know how to operate, right? Because they're mirrors to each other. If I am in the wrong, then I'm identified as the debtor person, or the debtor person has to be rendered. It has to be turned over. But if I'm in the right, then I'm the creditor, and someone has to render, someone has to discharge, someone has to be charged, and I'm here to receive the discharge or to cancel it out. You see what I'm saying? So, white, let me write that again. Let me write that down over there. Up to my pocket. So, white means in law. Black is just the opposite. Outlaw. These are what they mean in reality, as opposed to what we've been taught and how to use them. You know, this shows the evidence of the miseducation of a whole continent of people. This is your public school system telling you these mean white means this and black means that. That's not real law. Your constitutional law is private law. It's like family business. Either you're a part of it or you're not. And if you're not a part of the family business, if you're not an investor, if you're not an insurer, if you're not a stockholder, if you're not a representative of the group, you get no benefits in it. You have no say so in what we're doing here. Make sense to you? So I'm going to touch on this very quickly. Very quickly, right? We hear this phrase. We hear this phrase, sovereign citizen. Anytime someone is expressing, well, in its origin, we hear people saying that whenever you're talking about sovereign citizen, they're saying, hey, that these are an oxymoron. Now, written like this, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, right? But based on what we just read, a citizen is a sovereign of the state. Now, the people who go around saying that they're this, they don't identify themselves with the state. And that's where the issue arises, right? Because if the citizen is the people and the people are sovereign and the people and the state are one, then that expression would imply, right? Hey, that I'm a part of the state. But you have people who are running with this and telling you, we're not with the state, right? These individuals are also known as, some of them are called patriots, right? You've got some more soft sits and all of that as well. Let me show you. It should look like this if ever you were to use it. I don't, because I have a more satisfactory expression that I'm gonna show you all in a moment. This would be the proper application of such a term. A sovereign state citizen, right? That would be more conducive. But to say that you're a sovereign state citizen is saying that you're a citizen of this sovereign state. And these individuals don't wish to be a part of that. They're anti-government. That's their issue. This is your non-citizen national. I'm a non-citizen national. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm not here to change your mind. Run with whatever you wish to run with. But I'm just showing you, right? According to the law. So instead of saying sovereign state citizen, right? Because if I were to say sovereign state citizen, what do y'all hear? Y'all just hear sovereign and citizen, right? So that would actually be a harmful expression. Even though I'm stating it correctly, this sovereign citizen ideology has been so warped that all they're going to hear is sovereign citizen. And I don't wish for that to be, I'm not here to confuse, right? And so I say, free national citizen. You want to argue with me that Pennsylvania is not a free state? I appreciate that, but it's not about their words. It's about my words, your words. You are what you say. And you're right. Do not conform to their titles. But these are titles of the people that are hidden from the people by other people who want to rule over the people. This sovereignty means free, right? In the definition I gave earlier, we found out that a citizen is a member of a free city or jural society. And we found out that a citizen is synonymous with people of the state, sovereign people, right? So you gonna argue with me that I'm not free? See, they're gonna argue this on your sovereignty because there are people who are saying that sovereignty is separate from the state. That's the problem. You gonna argue with me that I was born free? All right? Are you gonna argue with me that my sovereign state or that my free nation, this is my organized corporate or what this is my constituent member organization? You gonna argue with me that we're not free national citizens? I am a free national citizen of this free national republic of the United States of America. Okay, so you can look at state citizenship as national citizenship. Now, I've had some miseducated and misguided individuals tell me that I'm reaching. They told me you're reaching. Okay, let me show you. You tell me if I'm reaching. You just tell me. All right. The definition of nationality. Do you know it? The definition of nationality. It's in this book, but I know it. I know it, so I ain't got to read it. Let me show you. Whatever. Nationality is that quality or that character, right? That person, which arises from the fact of a person's belonging to a nation or to a state. Nationality deals with statehood. How can nationality be obtained? Through birthright or naturalization. So you could be born into it or you could be adopted into it. Okay? State citizenship is national citizenship. Right? Now, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Now, I'm going to read to you all a very important statement that you can find here in this information, link in bio, right? And you would go to the economic security tab to get it. This is all the information that I have gathered from the 1900 Great Missionary Program of uplifting these stateless minded people into that state of citizenship that is recognized, right? That they may be true American citizens, just as the other individuals here are true American citizens, so that they can live in love, peace and harmony with their fellow brothers and sisters who may not be of the same religious faith, but are of the same human family. Within the Moorish movement, this is one of the most quoted articles, but never really quoted in totality and not ever really explained, which I believe that just means that people don't understand. I explain it all the time. But it's not explained to the people. Absolutely. But and I'm going to bring you up, but give me a moment to read this. Give me a moment. Give me a moment to read this out, and then we can actually converse. Is that all right with you? Are you there?
Yeah, Islam, or indeed. Go right ahead.
All right, Islam. Allow me to read this real quick, right? And then we can get into whatever it is that you wish to speak about, beloved, all right?
Indeed.
Alhamdulillah. All right. So I'm going to read to you all. This is a newspaper article issued in the 1920s through this great missionary program that was brought to the so-called black people, right, to teach them what they need to know in order to be better citizens. It's called A Divine Warning by the Prophet. Prophet just means presiding officer, right, for the nations. It says the citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family, bearing one free national name. All Pennsylvanians are Pennsylvanians. All Tennesseans are Tennesseans. And then collectively, all Americans are Americans. Absolutely. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. So, if I'm running around here acting like I'm the identity on this birth certificate, but I'm not running around here acting like I'm the identity on this passport, which is recognized as a citizen, then I'm going to be mistreated because I'm not seen as one of the people. I'm seen as a freeloader. It says, and it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. This is your principal debtor right here, this black personality. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah, which is just the Constitution, to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens. Okay. According to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. So this is telling you about your American citizenship. All of us being all Americans. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. Your religion is your commercial status. Absolutely. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine and National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. Side note, for all of those brothers and sisters out there who will see this on YouTube, Jurali did not bring a new government. He was getting us back into the government that was already ready already. That is evidenced in this here. All right, where are we at? Okay, it says, and through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, because now they're citizens themselves, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, and not under a granted privilege as has been the existing condition for many generations. That condition he's speaking about is the 15th Amendment voter registration federal citizenship, all right, which is a non-citizen national, so to speak. It says, you who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption. So this is the redemption manual that everyone's been looking for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone. They will be glad to render you a favorable reply. They are glad to see me bring you out of darkness, which is statelessness, not being seen, civiliter mortus, and into light, which is civiliter vivus, in full life, as a state citizen or as a national citizen. It says money does not make the man. It is free national standards, so it is so-called sovereign state standards, status, and power that makes a man and the nation. So whatever makes the man makes the state. So the man and the state are one. All right, okay. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone. The citizens. And without your national citizenship, by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national, free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work. Because I need support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people. Where are we at? Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. Of the government. He says of the government. So he's saying that we're a part of that government and that we fell out of it. And he's saying that the other people who are in line with it, please help me, all right? He says, I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again. So he's like, yo, I need all of y'all that know what's cracking, that understand this. Like, help them, man, because they need to hear from you all just as well as me. They need to see that we're all one, that I'm not just speaking to speak in front of them just on some hocus pocus, right? Excuse me. He says that I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate. Because that's love, to see people that you thought was at you forever come to you and try to help you raise you up. They're giving you consideration, right? It says, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national Constitution of the United States of America. If you've ever read the preamble of the U.S. Constitution, you'll see that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice are those principles that are founded there in the preamble. It says, I love my people, and I desire their unity and mine back to their free national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional, black, Negro, colored. So he's saying this government belongs to us just like everybody else, but we're out of line because we running around here talking about I'm African American when there's no such thing, right? He says, if Italians, Greeks, English, these are European nations, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians, these are Asian nations, are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. If this is what they have to do to be recognized, then that's to be white status, then it should be enforced upon everybody else, right? All right. He says in all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Right? That's any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles. Because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. Mine is Pennsylvania. Okay? Because they place their trust, that's the U.S. Department, that's the Treasury, because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. Now, I know that my ancestors set up Pennsylvania and the Treasuries, etc., right? Because again, in the preamble, just of the USA, it shows you, right? This is for us and our posterity. Indeed. Okay. He says the word Negro, that means black, we just had that on the board, deludes in the Latin language to the word that we're not going to say. Okay. But it's the N word, if you will. And it deludes to that word the same way that the word colored deludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed. So the word colored means not real, not how it really presents itself. It's colored. It's like a disguise. It's not really what it's purporting itself to be, right? He says, and every nation or every state must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because by honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizens of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. Now let me go back and say that again. Through your sovereign state name, you are recognized by all states of America, of the land, that are recognized by said national government in which they live. He says the 14th and 15th Amendments, there's your black status and your federal voter registration status, brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners, and we know what the Southerners was about, right? At that time, who were without power, within the constitutional body of power. And at that time in 1865, and this is when the so-called Negroes were given, that they were released. Hey, y'all could do what y'all wish. Y'all gotta get it how you live, right? You're no longer quote unquote slaves unless you act like you're black, right? He says, and at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men equal and free. So as of 1865, these people are no longer slaves. They're considered free men. Pretty sure you've heard that phrase before. All right. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, well, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people who are learning to be citizens and the citizens who already know about citizenship. Now, the 14th Amendment deals with stateless citizenship, debtor citizenship, right? And you know that most people like to vote for Donald Trump or whoever. That's not the state citizen votes for their governor. Okay, not for any president called a president. Anywho, it says so there is but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost. What was lost? Their statehood, their estate, their attachment, association, affiliation, their state of mind of oneness with their state. All right, he says, and that is through these above statements. Then the lion, which is the rich and the rulers, and the lamb, which is the poor, can lie down together in yonder hills. This sounds like a charge discharge equal out to me. All right, just saying. He said, will lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed. Because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which are principles of equity, catch it, law and equity, pardon, will be reigning in this land. This one here is for all of my, is it this one? Yeah. This next statement is for all of those who have argued in the past, particularly with me. I'll let you know what I'm reading from in a moment. Who like to say, well, the United States is separate from the United States of America. Okay. Let me just follow what my prophet tells me, though, right? All right, which is my forefather. He says, in those days, the United States, pause for, okay, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. So he used United States synonymously or interchangeably with the United States of America. He didn't separate it. Right? This is not a typo error. Okay. He says, but if the above statements are not carried out by the U.S. citizens and my people in this government, so again, he didn't bring anything new. He's trying to get us back into what's already up and running. He says the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America. So he just said that the United States and North America are interchangeable. He says, not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people. So he's saying those who call themselves Negroes, you're bringing this on yourself. It ain't got nothing to do. Let me continue. Let me continue, just so he can tell you, right? He says, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people. And this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. Now this was posted in like the mid 1900s. And we see these earthquakes, and we see these diseases, and we see these etceteras. Just saying. And I, the prophet, do herein believe that this administration of the government, he's talking about the so-called president, whatnot, right? Overall, right? And I do herein believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws And through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of men that have never done them any good, but have always caused harm. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea. That's an out he's applying, right? So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to who? To all true American citizens. Now, mind you, this is what he's trying to teach his people to become, right? So we're all supposed to be one family. Anywho, to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America. So he's asking everybody that stands for the truth, yo, could you please, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch these by the toe? Drag that, like, look, sit down, let me tell you something, right? All right. Where are we at? Because they, all right. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which is being committed by my people, which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America. So he just called the United States, North America, and the United States of America the same thing. Because they know it is not the true and divine way. And without understanding, they, not anybody else, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc., in their present condition of their endeavorment in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They, again, these are the so-called more African Americans. They will not refrain from their sinful ways, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism. I thought someone else brought Jim Crowism. No, the way that we were acting brought Jim Crowism and segregation. So we're not supposed to be out here talking about segregation. We're not supposed to be dividing. We're supposed to be uniting anyway, right? And everything that their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, their deeds have brought segregation, and their deeds have brought everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. So it's not anybody else. It's what these people are doing or allowing to continue to do because they haven't changed their condition. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I've traveled in the South and I've examined conditions there. And it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. Oh, they done stole our weight. No, the life, right? And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness of that black status and ignorance into the marvelous light of unity and true American citizenship from the Prophet. Islam, beloved, I appreciate you for being patient, family.
Yeah, Islam moral as well.
By all means, speak in peace, beloved.
Yeah, man. I wasn't even sure if you could hear me or not.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, bro. I wanted you to go back to two of those parts in the Moorish literature from the excerpt from the Moorish Guide newspaper. The first part you had hit on was cast a free national ballot instead
Okay.
of the privilege
Instead of that
party.
federal stuff.
I
Right,
wanted
right,
you
right.
to I wanted you to read that part again, and then the part where it says if the above statements are not carried out by the
Right, right.
U.S. citizens and my people, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali made a clear distinction right there, and then we can build from
Yeah,
there.
he made so I got you. But let me get to that one real quick. Right? That last one.
Okay,
For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's for the people so that they can understand the
oh yeah,
dialogue.
I got it. To honestly bring our people back into the constitutional flow of the government, there to clean themselves
Right.
up. It was like a car wash for the
Right.
mind and the spirit. You know what I mean?
What? Hold on.
Seriously, bro. What's that?
Hassan.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier when I was
Bro,
typing,
what
yo.
up though?
That's good. Yeah, I got the mic all close because I didn't
What's
want to be all loud and whatnot. You feel me?
man, what up,
Yeah.
bro?
Man, chilling,
Right?
chilling, G, chilling.
All right. That's what's up.
See, now
Yo,
we
this
can
is one of
build.
the brothers that this is one of the brothers that when I was unfolding, and I was coming out that caterpillar cocoon into the butterfly. It was like, yo, bro, wait, don't just fly. Put your feet down first.
Hey, yo.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, man, indeed,
All right,
man.
so we're gonna touch on.
I'm Mary Ramadan to
All
you
right,
too, brother.
I appreciate that, but I don't. That ain't. That's my prophet didn't bring that to us.
Oh no, I get it, bro. I'm saying for the science of it. You already know, bro.
Indeed,
It's the
indeed.
science. You know what I'm saying?
Right. For what purpose
That's
was
it.
the
Oh.
absolutely MST of a founded? In the literature, they only put this part
So many
for the.
much.
Oh man, it's all about those. It's all about those newspaper articles.
Yeah, flat out. You already
So,
know, bro.
absolutely. All right, so the first purpose, this is the mission statement. You'll say it is for the uplifting of fallen humanity.
Mhm.
But I've also read the initial Moorish Holy Temple of Science organization papers. And it also says, and to teach those things necessary to make our men and women better citizens. So I'm gonna leave this up here on the board, right? And then we could touch on that, right? Because I understand that you were saying there was a distinction, and I just want to speak on the fact that the only reason the distinction was made is because we are being taught how to be citizens. We don't know how to be, according to what he's saying. He's teaching us how to be citizens. So it's like our people and citizens, those who are already in the know. He was asking them to bring his people to become better citizens in the know. But we'll get to that in a minute. You said you desire for me to read the part when we're talking about, and I know exactly what you talk.
Yeah, to
All right,
cast a free national ballot instead of through a
absolutely.
granted
At the
privilege.
polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, and not under a granted privilege as has been the existing condition for many generations. And that existing condition is that 15th Amendment federal voting that can only be done by stateless citizens who are operating as 14th Amendment citizens or who are acting as this person,
Yeah.
right? In the capacity of this. If you're not a part of the state, you ain't got no say, right? And then, and then as a state citizen or as a national citizen, I can cast a free national ballot at my state's government and deal with my governor, who's supposed to do what needs to be done to send it to the quote unquote president. My vote counts with my governor in my state. But if I'm not standing on statehood or nationality, it's like, oh, okay, we'll let the electoral college do what they do, and we'll let y'all think that y'all doing something. By all means, the floor is yours. I'm gonna step out because I wish to spark my Black and Mountain. They keep censoring me every time I show it.
It's hilarious. I guess what I'm but you're gonna still be in the room though, right? You'll be able to still
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, cool.
One, I'm not going anywhere. Two, if I go downstairs, these right here, it's like, why are you wearing 2 pair of glasses? Because one is so I can see, and these right here, these are my earphones, bro. I speak through these joints.
Okay, right. Got you. That's dope. So when analyzing what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was talking about via, casting a national ballot through the state constitution, he's speaking on a principle in distinction to or counter distinction to a privilege granted.
Absolutely.
And most people nowadays are suffering from being, and it's not even being adjudicated, they're just being railroaded with administration, right? And so the main citizen, so to speak, was the institution that Prophet Noble Drew Ali intended to assist in washing the minds of the people, which is, civically speaking, Moorish Holy Temple of Science. And then as far as that go through, as far as what the Secretary of State had required, Lewis Lincoln Emerson, before those Moors passed a free national ballot for him to be the governor of Illinois by 1929. Lewis Lincoln Emerson had did the requirement for the Religious Corporation Act, so that through the Religious Corporation Act, that's the person, like a Megazord to the Power Rangers, that Moorish Americans could act through without being subjugated under state-granted privileges. And that's one of the things, like, I see was, and still is, by many, not honored or enforced, but yet you have those such as ourselves who, for some reason, been allowed to meet the prophet in his literature and then comprehend that language. And what I'm recognizing, like even one of my elders had recently, because I saw you recently in one of the other lives that I was participating in, because one of the elders had suggested that I go to a particular community to be able to begin assisting other Moors that were open to it, but maybe still needing to come from under the hypnosis of a lot of information being told without the how to execute the information.
Absolutely.
Without, seemingly violating Act 3. I'll just say it that way. You know what I mean? So what I'm seeing is that when it comes to interacting here on this land, you got 2 types of people, but I'm gonna put it in the most respectful yet hood terms possible. Those that have filled out an application in any way, shape, or form.
That sounds like energy.
And have taken an oath in any way, shape, or form are the public servant. And I'm going to say here, the statutes, codes, and policies, they're perfect when properly applied.
Absolutely. That's what I feel like a lot of people in the past missed.
You know what I mean? So when they properly pardon my faux pas there, properly applied, then what I recognize is that there are some statute interpretation principles that have not been discussed in our community to further foster protection. You know what I mean? So, like, let's say we already know something that's common. People get ran off the road by policy enforcers. And
Oh
then,
yeah, I'm running through that right now.
Okay, well, good. We'll speak on that. So then you'll have policy enforcers be
Who are public servants.
Absolutely. And my reference to the, public service or public office, and public service is a public trust, is
Civil officers, right?
Yeah, it's within their instruction to carry out administration. Their instruction to carry out administration is, on the federal level, the CFRs, the Code of Federal Regulations, which is how to carry out the United States codes. So in 5 CFR 2635.101, it lets you know that public service is a public trust. So when you have one of your Jeffries, here's the hood part about it. When you have one of your Jeffries writing a ticket for the Fresh Prince, or Ashley, or Carlton, or Hillary, or even Uncle Phil or Aunt Viv, Jeffrey is out of order. However, if the quote unquote Banks family does not comprehend why and when Jeffrey is out of order, then there's going to be a railroading process that's going to happen, right? What's up, y'all? Y'all pouring in here. I see a few people. That was 5 CFR. I'll type it in the chat. All right. They was asking. Public service is a public trust, right?
And as well, just a public service announcement. This will be carried over to the YouTube channel, link in bio.
Okay, So, all right. So now, with that being said, right, it's like usually the issue is let's just make it plain for your issue. Just because you was behind the wheel, it does not mean you were exercising a privilege granted by the state. Yet that's what's assumed. And then what they'll say if they find out you're some fez wearing or turban wearing Moorish American or Moor or whatever anybody out there want to, you know what I'm saying? What will happen is, because you can don't take this the wrong way, but you can be purple, orange, you can be Indian red. The idea is, if you're not the who when doing the what, I'm gonna say that again. If you're not the who when doing the what, then there is a misapplication of statute. Who would be the who in your situation? The who would be one who is exercising a privilege granted by the state. You're not doing what's called in the tax code under 26 USC 7701H. You're not doing a motor vehicle lease agreement where you're doing trade or business. Trade or business is defined in the tax code as performing functions of public office. So if you're not performing that function of public office and someone runs you off the road and cites that you violated a statute, that's no different than you not working for McDonald's and a McDonald's employee grabs the manager to write you up for a no-call, no-show.
I don't even work here.
If you never filled out an application, never got a hire date, an interview date, or a schedule, then you have immunity.
I don't even have a driver's license. Never applied for. And on top of that, just real quick, in my situation, I actually had my own private public notice on the back of my automobile, my private property, my household goods, right?
Gotcha.
And it actually said diplomatic, and then it had the it's a U.S. Department of State.
Got you.
And then I gave my registration number, my private, my national, my passport number, whatever. And then underneath it said private. And they attempted They attempted. They actually ran down. Huh?
It's stuck on my mustache. It got caught in my mustache, my tassel.
Wow.
Like, woo, I'm trying to
And
get it off. Go ahead.
when they charged me, when the officer came to me, I gave him my international traveler's permit, aka passport, because I know that's how it's supposed to operate, right? In the Matrix, it has to look like a permission, even though it's not.
Gotcha.
All in the report, it says Brandon Davis L. Brandon Davis L. But they charged it against Brandon Davis.
Got you.
And in the report, it speaks on. He's like, I knew the individual from prior to. He was trying to validate the reason why he didn't use my passport. But anyway, through that whole issue, in the report, it said that they were going to issue a summons. But
All right.
they never issued a summons. They came 10 days later with a warrant at my door.
All right.
Right? Because I was supposedly there's supposed to be a U.S. Department of State investigation. I would love to see it because I already know what it is. If you run my passport, they ass out because I'm private.
Gotcha.
But the charge was the initial charge that he hit me with that I guess he felt validated me being ran down on, and I know it was just them bullying me. He charged me with trademark counterfeiting.
Interesting. That's under the Secretary of Commerce.
Right. So he charged me with trademark counterfeiting because my plate said U.S. Department of State. Now, they also charged, not me, they charged my person with counterfeit plates, among other things, right? And myself knowing that we're not handling this here down at the magistrate at all because ain't no record gonna be on board. I waved it down, right? Like we gonna go head up. Now you're gonna have to prove it. And when it got down there, the prosecuting attorney or the alleged creditor party, right? He withdrew those charges.
Okay.
Those aren't even on the docket. And so now it's like, well, that's what you used to arrest me, my man. I'm quote unquote out on bond, and I signed TDC. I couldn't even get out. I couldn't even, they forced me to contract. I was in cuffs. I couldn't get out the cuffs until I said, yeah, right?
Gotcha.
But, right. So I already know that they're going to have a big issue trying to prove that the arrest in and of itself was warranted, because on the report it says you were going to issue a summons, right? But if you know how when they file their report, so he filed it on the same day. If the report says summons, why doesn't it say the warrant? Because the warrant was given the same day.
All right.
So on paper it says you were going to give me a summons, but your true intent was to come run down.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
I'm listening. Yes.
Right. I'm just saying. So I already know that. And then I just had to shake off the PD because I seen them railroad me. You know what I mean? I grabbed the PD because I had questions and I wanted them to stand as assistant counsel. Like, I want you to show me the procedure because that's what you're good at. You're not good at law. You're good at procedure, and I'll handle the rest. And they kept railroad me, telling me I can't speak to this and that. So I had to kick them off. So now when I go back, and I'm not even going back, I have information to send to the attorney to let them know that I know that they ain't even got the right standing to do so. So we gonna settle this shit in private anyway. But I'm just saying that that's how they imposed upon me, because I've been the only upstanding citizen out here, because they see that there's not enough people around me, right? They're attempting to, put their foot on my neck, and it's like, hey, I already know what it is, so, whatever.
Well, you know that in our elementary days, we are studying the word jurisdiction to be the right law words to speak, right?
Right.
So
the authority.
Yeah, so in the Moorish literature that you read, right, about us carrying out the what was aforementioned, right?
Mhm.
The thing is what you're experiencing is an assumption that you were exercising a privilege granted by that commonwealth. All right. Now, they would have to prove their claim beyond the shadow of a doubt. And usually the
And they can't.
argument, yeah, indeed. And usually the argument that people give usually is not the argument that needs to just be
Right.
where's the record that I was on the
Period.
clock at the time that you accused me, because if not, then I have an off-duty alibi. That's why I attacked the
Period.
whole off-duty alibi thing. You know what I mean? Because what I'm recognizing is that you have a policy enforcer, and what they're recognizing is that most people don't know how to do step one is to do a tort claim. So I
Mhm.
think I think Pennsylvania has what's called a political subdivision tort claims act. I want to say
Mm.
it's subsection 8542 in the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 8542. I'm hope that it yeah. So look up Pennsylvania Consolidated Statute subsection 8542. And that's where you'll start getting that, because remember, when they 12B6 people, in other words, failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted, when they do that,
Mhm.
is because the initial claim is the tort claim that needs to be done. So the tort claim is that the policy enforcers are using their motor vehicles, their either city, state, or county insured motor vehicle outside of an emergency. So
Yes, absolutely.
that's the only claim that needs to be made. However, it would have to be said in a way and supported in a way that when I know it's like five different courts near Pennsylvania. You got the
Mhm.
magisterial whatever court. You got the what's the other one called?
District.
Is okay. You got is that the magisterial district? That's what it's called, magisterial district. Then they got the
Yeah.
common
Common pleas,
pleas.
court of common pleas,
Then they got the
and then you have the
prothonotary
federal. Yes.
appeal, and then you got a prothonotary, you got the appeal, and then now you got the supreme. I think those are the five of them, right? That's there near
Right.
Pennsylvania. The idea of it is though is that once you state your claim, and yes, this is something that has to be practiced in harmony with that which you just read from the Moorish literature.
Absolutely.
When stating the claim is the tort claim. And usually that's no different if comprehended than if someone rear-ended you on the road, you
Absolutely.
would
You got to make a claim.
okay, because you would get the information of the one rear-ending you. When the policy enforcers are using their insured motor vehicle, because they're the only one at the time under a motor vehicle lease agreement.
Right.
All right. So they're performing functions of public office at the pleasure of the governor of the Commonwealth.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, doing that tort claim is no different than doing a claim for someone rear-ending you. They might not have rear-ended
Absolutely.
your bumper, but they're rear-ending your life.
Like when they took my car, yo, y'all niggas is renting my shit.
Absolutely. I mean, because you should have been compensated first, because that's the whole thing about
Right.
eminent domain. So now
Right.
are they using private property for public gain
That's what they're doing.
without just compensation prior?
They're alleging that my private property was being utilized for public use, and it's like, hey,
Gotcha.
everything that was on my private property, right? The stickers were not up to date, which tells you I'm not operating in that capacity. The
Gotcha.
plate that was on the car was not that plate, right? Which means that I was not operating in any type of public capacity. And when the whole transaction occurred, I let it be known, I'm not driving I am traveling, this, that, whatnot, and when I hit a whole court on the street, because I've done that, and that don't help. But
Mhm.
I have it all recorded. I let it be known. In my mind, my belief,
Mhm.
I was operating according to the law, the
Well,
private law.
you don't have to witness against yourself in any way, shape, or form. They have to prove their claim beyond a shadow of a doubt because there's a public servant who is writing a complaint and serving it at the same time, and that
Yeah,
violates
the
on the federal level Rule 4 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And
one
I
of the
can't
charges,
remember. Go ahead.
the way he wrote the charges, it says that I was acting fraudulently. I'm like, you gonna have to prove that, pimp. Ooh, you
Well,
gonna have to prove that I was acting fraudulently.
yeah, if you could see the complaint, that would be great because like okay, so say like in most normal, I don't even know why I'm saying it like this, but I'm just making sure and I'm being sensitive to your audience and being respectful and considering your audience that what I'm thinking is when people bring a complaint, right? When they bring a
Mhm.
complaint, they normally okay, with every complaint there's an answer. So you usually answer.
Mhm.
All right. And then after that, you get motions, right? And then if you
Mhm.
disagree with the motion or you object for the motion, you put in an opposition to the motion. And then someone will put in a reply in support of that motion, right? And the idea is to make sure you make your point against their point. Their point is always going to be that you were a statutory person in the state or commonwealth, which absolutely is no different than saying that you were the employee on the clock at the time
Right.
violating the handbook.
Right.
Okay, so let's say you did have a driver's license, like
At the
one
time I
who,
was operating, they would have to prove that I was under those terms and conditions.
there you go, because it's no different than let's say you do work for McDonald's. You absolutely put in an application, you had a hire date, you had an interview date, and you got a schedule. However, last night when the fryers were left on, and the manager came in today and was like, "Oh, the restaurant almost burned down. I caught it just in time. Man, I'm firing the whole night crew." Now you worked the night crew, but you didn't work last night.
Right. I wasn't on the schedule to work last night. I wasn't there.
So now you're exempt from the penalty
There you go.
because you do have an obligation when scheduled. But at the time that it was alleged that the infraction occurred, now you have an exemption.
Mhm.
So it's only two positions you have. You're either exempt because you do work some of the time under that particular license, but at the time you were accused, you were not on the clock, so you have an off-duty alibi. Or the other one
Right.
is you're immune because you've never applied for the license.
Right. Right.
Whether
Right.
it's and because when they're taking people's children, they're utilizing the marriage license, the foster care license, and the armed forces service member
Mm.
volunteering. Those are the only three. I don't care what state or commonwealth you check. That's how they're trying to assert taking people's children or enforcing
Okay.
child support or anything else. All child support cases, custody cases, all that is based on some marriage act. I don't care how you
Right.
slice it, and please believe nothing I say. I already know you know, but
Right.
I'm speaking to
Yeah.
your audience and your students. Believe nothing I say. Just challenge it, research it yourself, and try to prove it wrong. If you prove it right, then you're good, right? I think Mac L is asking. So, how do you get out of the contracts? Well, at the end of the day, the question is, are you a you? I mean, I guess I'll type this in the chat for them. If you were to look at the cornell.law.edu result for 20 CFR 422.104, and it's going to tell you who may be assigned a social security number, and then you click on the word "you" in the first line when it starts to discuss it, and then you will see that that's defined in 20 CFR 422.402. And when you see what that is, you'll see that a "you" is one who owes a debt to the United States. Now, that's
Right.
what a U is. So all statutes that are being used, whether they're consolidated statutes, unconsolidated statutes, whatever state it is, federal or state, or even some local ordinance or whatever. Again, those things are no different. Now this isn't saying go out there and wreak havoc in society, because you're still supposed to conduct yourself intelligently. However, if someone mistakenly, whether, or maybe it's not a mistake, misapply
Right.
statute and accuse you of doing some infraction, and they're citing, the statute there too, then you are to express how you have an off-duty alibi. And most people can't articulate that, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what I recognize. Like, one of our elders was like, you know where I'm studying at, right? Because you had came in and you saw, and you was like, yo, is that bro I saw? And I'm like, yeah, bro. But I think you had already like bounced once I started like chatting with you in the chat. But one of my elders was like, yo, you really want to help these Moors get up from under that hypnosis of just, information, what little to know how, then you need to go over
Right.
here. And that's where I've been for like 3 or 4 years. And it's like, bro, the funny thing is a lot of Moors already over there. But a lot of them was like, I'm not coming back to tell these Moors nothing. Because they're just going
which is terrible, man. It's crazy.
because they think that it's going to have bad energy to it. Yo, I promise you, that's what they think.
When you get done, I actually have the police report. I would love to read it for you.
That's interesting. Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah. I'll land my plane right now. So last thing is, no matter what they say, even in that report, no matter what they say, what they have to prove, because I'm pretty sure it's some county district attorney that's picking up the case, because there's people near Monroe County, out near Stroudsburg, who I just recently assisted. All right. I know who's the district attorney out there? It's Michael Mancuso for Monroe County, right? Out there near the Poconos and Stroudsburg and all that, or whatever. And so what I recognize is that we as a people have not gone over more than the information. I'll be honest with you, me learning procedure myself to a certain extent has really been able to not only help myself but others. But like, when these things are happening, yes, a tort claim on the policy enforcers, and your tort claim doesn't have to state anything more than you're suffering personal damage, which is pain and suffering, an intentional infliction of emotional distress, because they have used their insured vehicle, county or city or state insured vehicle, absent of an emergency, to take your private property, which is your time, energy, your land conveyance, for private use. So a tort claim on that. So check your state's Tort Claims Act. Whatever state you're near, check the Tort Claims Act. I don't care if it's Maryland's Tort Claims Act, Pennsylvania Tort Claims Act, Minnesota Tort Claims Act, California Tort Claims Act, Florida Tort Claims Act, Texas Tort Claims Act, New Mexico Tort Claims Act, Illinois Tort Claims Act. I don't care whose Tort Claims Act. I think in New York, though, it's called Court of Claims Act. It's called Court of Claims Act. But that's why some people think that you file your tort claim in the court, and it's not like that with all people, all states. Some states it's risk management. So you got to be able to read the instructions. Like, you go to fix a cake or whatever, you're going to read the recipe to make sure it comes out as intended. All right. So that's how it is for the tort claim. When it comes to the attorneys, two things on the attorneys. I learned it from my sister at the community, that I'm at, and we learned it from Texas Rule 12. It's called attorney to show authority. In other
states, you talking about Sister R?
Malika.
Okay, because me and all right, yeah, I'm all in now.
You already know what I put energy on, right? That's why I tell you, I know, let the family know.
Yeah, because she put me on. And I was way left, like, man, I ain't hearing none of that. But then I saw, my thing is, I don't go off of what people say. I need evidence.
Yeah.
When I saw evidence, Like me and Energy just had a conversation last night where I told her
Mhm.
once I get me some finance, I'm gonna go ahead and invest in my education with that sister because I
Mhm.
see the good in her work.
Bro, I done been there almost 4 years now. So you
Man,
know.
I'm about to definitely take off my black fez, put my red fez on, and come sit
Oh
down in the
man, you ain't
queue.
gotta do that. You can just be yourself. You know
No,
what
no, bro.
I mean?
I'm an adept student, bro.
Me
I'm
too.
always a
Me
student.
too.
I know. I'm just relating to the fact that I ain't got no qualms about sitting and listening, man.
All right,
I'm here to
indeed,
learn.
indeed, indeed.
I ain't here to just teach. I'm here to teach what I know, and in order for me to know it, I got to learn. I got to
Yeah.
sit.
All right, look, I'm gonna land my plane. I just want to get these last ones out. Okay, number one, tort claim on the policy enforcers, right? And I usually you got to read the Tort Claims Act. Some places you got a year, some places you got 2 years, and then you got to give them 60 days to either reject or neglect your claim. And then
Mm.
from there, it should say further in the Tort Claims Act how to escalate it to the next level. Because by the time, if and when you get to the federal level, so you don't get failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted, you can hit the BS button and be like, here's the tort claim. This is where it started. This is me doing the Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. I came to you man to man first. In other words, policy enforcer, right your wrong. You ain't want to right your wrong with the tort claims. Cool. Now I'm taking in front of 2 or 3 witnesses. So that's either some higher than the policy enforcer level. Oh, you ain't want to recognize? Cool. Now let's take it in front of the assembly type energy, right? And speaking of that, you already know we already got resolutions from 1790 to 2014. You know what I mean when it comes to us, but that's another thing. So now, all right, the Tort Claims Act. When it comes to the attorneys, if you can't do a motion to show authority, it's also called a motion to strike.
Okay.
Because the attorney is speaking from a position where they're not the injured party, nor are they the ones
Right.
who witnessed it. So, however,
Right.
usually the whole
Right.
injured party thing gets knocked down too, because they're not saying that you injured someone. They're saying that you are a part of the administration exercising a privilege granted by the state. So that would be the position, not necessarily someone's injured now, because this again wasn't told in the elementary hypnosis of information, what, but no how, right? So if it's not an injured party situation, the only other thing is they could be saying that you're violating the McDonald's handbook. So your remedy is either you're exempt or you're immune. You just got to see which one it is. And usually you got to use the code that they're using. For you,
I'm
it's gonna
both.
you say that again.
I'm both.
Hey, either one. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Because look, if you're immune, then you're not exempt. That you can never be exempt. You know what I'm saying? Because exempt means
Okay.
that you do have an obligation at a scheduled time. It's just at that time
My
refused.
my
You know what I mean?
immunity comes through here.
Okay,
I
I
have
got you.
sovereign, ministerial, and diplomatic immunity according to the way that I filed my application following the instructions of our big brother.
Okay, all right. Islam. So when it comes to the attorney, it's 2 things: striking their motions or whatever. You do a motion to strike whatever they're saying, and you got to be able to articulate it well while you're doing a motion to strike. Then you discipline them by pointing out which rules and the model rules of professional conduct with the bar association, the state bar
Mm-hmm.
association. So that's how you discipline the attorney. So you discipline the policy enforcers through the tort claims by proving that they use their insured motor vehicle outside of an emergency to take your private property for public gain. That's how you discipline the policy enforcer. You discipline the attorneys by put in a motion to strike any of their pleadings, for one, and 2, to do a bar grievance with the Office of State Bar or whoever the oversight is. And the only caveat with the state bar, you can't use anything except the model rules of professional conduct. You do anything other than that, they're going to be like, well, we're closing this case because maybe you didn't read the instructions that the only thing we can do, we can launch an investigation on, is whether they did whatever. And usually what the attorneys are breaking is rule 5.5 of the model rules of professional conduct, which is unauthorized practice of law, but you got to find where in the state is that in your state statutes or codes. Where is it said, or the rules? Because the rules is usually court rules. The state statutes is the state law, and the state codes is how the agents are supposed to carry out the legislative intent, scope, applicability, and definitions of the statute. So that's how you discipline them. Now you got to discipline the judges. With the judges, shout out to my brother McRail, you disqualify the judge. And 9 times out of 10, if it's administration, it's an administrative law judge who is not judicial anyway. However, what'd you say, bro?
I said at all.
Yeah,
I said right,
yeah,
at all,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do disqualification. You can learn about the disqualification in 28 USC 455. All right, that's where you can get the information on that. 28 USC 455, so you can get the recipe-ish type energy or whatever. So because honestly, they're a public trustee too. Everybody that's trying to railroad you is a Jeffrey, while you're in the capacity of Fresh Prince at the time that they're accusing you.
Right.
Does that make sense?
To me, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the people in the chat? They good? Y'all good?
Put that in the chat.
Okay, they good. They look like they good. Okay, cool. So, all right. So the second thing that you need to discipline the so-called judge is a judicial complaint. Now for Pennsylvania, bro, is you got to find. I think for administrative law judges, you got to do the Third Circuit.
Okay.
For Pennsylvania, whereas you can't go to the judicial discipline board for regular judges because the administrative law judge is not a regular judge. I think they even might call them associate judges there, like Massachusetts. I'm not sure.
I reached out to the president judge in order to discipline, but I haven't received any responses back, and it's cool. I'm learning, but it's like, I'm learning, man. It is what it's going to be, man.
Yeah, it's fine.
I already know first and foremost that I'm not a you. I'm not a defendant. I'm not a guilty party.
Correct.
Like literally, even according to here, I'm not, because
what did they
like
say?
I said,
bro.
Yeah, they lodged their complaint against Brandon Eugene Davis, and it's like, but I gave you a passport, which is a whole other identity. Anywho,
hey, look, I got my phone right here. Can you tell me what statutes they use? I'm pretty sure they use the motor vehicle code. What's the motor vehicle code there? 35? Is it Title 35? Or 75?
No, I think it's Title 75.
Okay.
I believe it is Title 75.
Okay, Title 75.
All right, let me see. Boom. Is this the initial? Yep.
I might already have it open on my phone. At least Title 75.
I called myself taking this. I heard the affidavit of probable cause.
I got Title 1 and Title 23 open for Pennsylvania right now.
Oh, wait, no, this ain't even. Hold on, is this the same one? All right, because I was at the next. No, this ain't even that one. I would have to look for, and oh, there we go. Here we go. Trademark counterfeiting 18 subsection 41.
Their 18 is like the federal level 18, crimes and offenses for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because they was trying. Yeah, I told you they're trying me. You know what I mean? Because just like we can't have you out here, acting lawfully, and then everyone else seeing that the things that you're like, they're trying to neutralize the situation.
I mean, but the legislative intent says you can.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so what are they doing? Do they need to pick their favorite color noose to be hung in for treason or what?
Right.
I'm pretty sure they like red. Maybe they like blue. Either way, it's got to be a rope around in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's that Roman yoke and law, you heard?
I mean, hey, they signed up for it. It comes with the package.
Yeah. Right. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, especially when dealing with an officer of the court or an officer, something there's something that makes sense that tells you that a police officer is not immune, because you're supposed to know the law. You're
Well, they can't.
supposed to know it.
They
Right.
can't be immune. They don't have they and plus they waive their sovereign immunity when they do not. Pardon me. They waive their sovereign immunity when they reject or neglect your tort claim.
Okay.
When they reject or neglect, remember, the Tort Claims Act for Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, is subsection 8542. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. So just take that down and look it up later if you like. Or if you don't have a device now to look it up, you know what I mean? So hold on, let me.
Well, again, for all of you all listening in, once this is done, give me about an hour and a half or whatever, maybe two. But it will be placed onto the YouTube channel. All of my lives are not even intended to be like for TikTok. TikTok is just a platform that allows me to bring in people, and then I take it to my YouTube, and I actually have live capability on my YouTube now as well. So I may just be going right through there.
So can you tell me again? I got Pennsylvania Consolidated Statute 18, what subsection?
4119.
4119,
And then subsection A4. The letter A, the number 4.
19.
Trademark
A4.
counterfeiting.
So hold on, I'm going here right now.
And then everything else is 75.
A4 displays any person who know. First of all, they use the word person, and I'm telling you, person has a statutory definition.
Yeah, I have a person. I'm not a person.
Well,
I actually have two persons.
Don't witness against yourself. They don't have to know what person you have. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm telling you, I ain't telling them.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I totally get it. What I'm saying
here's one person. Here's one person, which is the person this is the person that's been charged. And this is the person that's secured that person, which is going to fuck them all up, because I have the right to be secure in my persons and my papers. And here you go.
Got you.
Absolutely.
All right, so check it out. In this particular statute, though, you would have to be the person defined in this statute at the time that they're making the claim. So when you go to like Title 1 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes and check like their general provisions and or definitions, that's with any state. When you go to the beginning, it's a wrap. But anyway, it says any person who knowingly or with intent to sell or to otherwise transfer for purposes of commercial advantage or private financial gain. That's what they just did to you.
Right.
That's A. And 4 is displays any items or services bearing or identified by a counterfeit mark shall be guilty of the crime of trademark counterfeiting. Okay, cool.
Now, mind you, when this got downtown to the DA withdrew that charge isn't even on the board.
Well, he had to. That's called a nolle prosequi in Latin, because they cannot prosecute it. Is that what your paper says?
Right.
The paper say nolle prosequi?
No, because it's still active. But what I'm saying is, when I got down and I received all their BS on arraignment, right, and I'm reading the charges, it says that trademark counterfeiting, according to the DA, was withdrawn.
Got you. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then again, there's also altered, forged, or counterfeit documents and plates. But whatever, right? So allow me to read this beautiful uttered forged instrument.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm gonna find a string in my hoodie, man. I didn't even realize that I washed my hoodie. The string fell out.
Oh man! All right,
but I'm listening though. I got my mic on.
All right. It says on May 22nd, 2024, while on patrol in the city of Duquesne, I, Officer Uhas, in Mark Unit 172, was traveling, so he was traveling, though he's on the clock, up Kennedy Ave in the 300 block when a silver Mercedes passed me with expired inspection and expired emissions. I turned around at Kennedy and 4th Street and followed the vehicle down Kennedy Avenue.
The vehicle made a right onto South 2nd and then a left onto Library Place. I followed the vehicle and initiated my overhead lights in the 100 block of Library Place. The driver's side, the trunk lid on the vehicle does not close and was bouncing up and down and was being held shut by a bungee strap. The driver's side taillight was broken and inoperable. It wasn't inoperable. The vehicle came to a stop on Library Place, blocking the intersection of Library Place and Cedar Street. That's another bullshit, but whatever. I gave the registration to dispatch, which was not a valid registration plate.
Mm-hmm.
No one said it was a registration plate. The registration plate was a printed diplomatic U.S. Department of State passport number and private fake registration plate, purple in color with white block lettering. I exited my patrol vehicle and initiated my body-worn camera and approached the vehicle. Once at the driver's side window, I asked the driver for his identification, and he handed me a U.S. passport card. Looking at the passport card, I recognized the driver from past dealings with as Brandon Davis L. So you put my L there. All right. I asked Brandon if he had a valid PA license, and he told me that this is all he needs, referring to his passport card. I told him okay, and that I would get with him in a minute and return to my patrol vehicle. I ran Brandon Davis L. through Allegheny County 911 by name and date of birth, and Brandon Davis L. came back as suspended, no reason given. So that's already bullshit lie, because if he ran my passport, you wouldn't see that. Gotcha. He already told you that he knew me from before. He ran, and again, all that Brandon Davis L, but it's lodged against Brandon Davis. So did you run my passport or not? That's why I require the dispatch audio. I'm waiting but anywho, let me continue. It says the passenger refused to give identification at this. Wait. I recognized him as Brandon Davis L, even though you put in Brandon Davis, whatever. Where was he at? Yeah, I took him. Okay. It says I ran Brandon Davis L through Allegheny County 911 by name and date of birth, and Brandon Davis L came back as suspended, no reason given. The no reason given is because I don't have the fucking instrument. Officer Kemple came to the scene to assist and went to identify the passenger. You mean my guest. The passenger refused to give identification at this time. I called Allegheny County 911 and requested for a tow for the vehicle at my location. I requested all information be faxed down and a certified be sent for the driving under suspension. Mm-hmm. Brandon Davis L requested a supervisor. So Sergeant Cucks arrived on scene. He spoke briefly to Sergeant Cucks and then requested Chief Shaw come down to the scene, to which he was unavailable due to being in a meeting, which was another lie. I exited my patrol unit 172 and returned to the driver's side window and informed Brandon Davis L that he was currently under suspension, no reason given. It was attempted to be explained to Brandon Davis L that his passport card is considered real ID and will allow him to board a plane and is fine for identification purposes, even though he didn't run it. But it is still not a driver's license, and he cannot drive using it as such. It was noticed that the registration plate had a number printed on it. The number is the number on Brandon Davis L's passport card. He printed the plate and attached the number to it in an attempt to fake a government document. Oh, really? Is that what I did? Leo's towing then arrived on scene and Brandon was requested to exit the vehicle. He asked this officer if he doesn't exit the car, will he be arrested? And I answered him yes. That's a threat. That's a
Okay.
threat.
Okay.
All right. The passenger then exited the vehicle and identified. The passenger then exited the vehicle and identified herself to Officer Kemple at the instruction of Brandon Davis L. Her information was run and everything was good. I'm gonna just pause there. They tried to fuck with her, talk about she had no motherfucking seatbelt on, and it's like, all right, well, why ain't you charging her? But anywho, because it wasn't intended for her anyway. It was whatever. We know information gathering and what they do with that anyway. Where are we at? Okay. Her information. Okay. It says Brandon proceeded to tell this officer that he beat cases in Duquesne and West Mifflin, and that he will beat this case as well. Yeah, I actually have a creditor judgment against the same police department.
Okay.
So I'm definitely going to take that down on malicious prosecution and vexatious litigation. But anywho, he says he then told this officer on body cam that Joseph Hayes, which was the one I got the creditor judgment against, a former officer in Duquesne, was relocated because of him filing a lawsuit against Duquesne. That's not what I told him. I informed him that information was incorrect and that Officer Hayes took a job in the state of Virginia. It says Brandon stated, yeah, because of him. And I told him that it was fine. You can believe whatever you choose to believe. He stated that he was that he was free to travel about. And I told him this has nothing to do with him traveling. It's awkward. Then he reiterated to I then reiterated to Brandon Davis L that the vehicle is not legal to be driven on Pennsylvania roadways due to the condition of the car.
That's absolutely true.
But that's not
legal. That's true.
Well, because it had a little
Legal
fender
means-
bender,
legal-
right? But
legal means contract.
Right,
That's
right,
absolutely
right.
correct. You're not contract.
and I don't have a contract, so I'm not bound by it.
So that's great. I mean, it sounds like. See, I'm picking it apart as you're reading it. Like, yo, he's frying himself.
Right. I'm not even done. Let me get yes, bro. Yes, he's frying himself.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
And I have the intellectual capacity to see it.
Correct.
I can see it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Where are we at? It says Leo's Towing informed him the car would have to be privately towed from his impound lot since it's not legal to be driven. He said it was fine. He will sue and win. And I said, I have a job to do following the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and he can fight this with the ADA and Judge Stricker. That's the magistrate.
Mhm.
He stated, yeah, he won't be happy, talking about the magistrate. I absolutely did say that.
Mhm.
He says, I then asked him why he no longer had a valid Pennsylvania registration because he did have it. Right, listen, because he did have it before. And he asked if he was required to answer questions. And I stated that he did not. And he said, was he free to go? And I stated yes, and that he would be receiving paperwork by mail. After speaking to the U.S. Department of State in the Chicago field office, they confirmed that Brandon Davis, now this whole time he was calling me Brandon Davis out, but they confirmed that Brandon Davis was not issued any registration for his vehicle from their department and requested copies of this report to initiate their own investigation. All right, so that's the whole report, and then it says this is his sworn affidavit, right? Oh wait. Hold on, did I miss that? Hold on, I think I might have missed the part. Free to go. Oh no, yeah. He said that I would be receiving paperwork by mail. That's the summons, right? It says I, Tobias Uhas, being duly sworn according to the law, depose and say that the facts set forth in the foregoing affidavit are true and correct to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief. I certify that this filing complies with the provisions of the whatever. So he's saying that I was supposed to get a summons, and like I told you, 10 days later, there was a warrant. But when you filled this out, when you were filling this out, you asked for the warrant, even though on your paperwork, you told me I'd be receiving some paperwork in the mail. Right? Just little discrepancies, right? He fried himself.
Correct.
And so, like I said, he mentioned me, Brandon Davis L, all the way to the end, and then it's Brandon Davis, and that's not a mistake. That's not an accident, right? And like I said, it's lodged against Brandon Davis, which is a completely different person. You there?
Yeah, of course I am. I'm typing things that I said so that you'll have it for your live.
I appreciate you.
You all
Appreciate you.
So I'm still listening, bro. I'm still listening.
Well, yeah, that was the end of the complaint. That's his complaint, bro.
Can we pick it apart now? Can we all pick it apart now?
Absolutely.
So the first issue is that he admitted that he was on patrol in a insured vehicle. What department is it for again? Which department again?
City of Duquesne Police Department.
Okay, so he's in a City of Duquesne insured
Right, a municipality.
motor vehicle, right? Do you have another device available or not? If you don't, that's fine. That's fine. But if you do,
No, why would I need another one? Oh, for
Because I
you to
was
send something to?
I was going to tell you to just look up PACS subsection 8542 so that you can see where their immunity there would be none, right? And I'm gonna see if I can look it up at the same time to make sure I'm remembering the correct statute. So I'm going to do subsection, and that way I'll be able to tell you if I'm even quoting the right section. The only reason I know something about Pennsylvania Commonwealth at this moment is because recently I'm assisting people where they got statutes misapplied to them near Monroe County, like out there near Stroudsburg Corporation.
So I have my other device on me.
42. So let's see. Let me hit go. This would be exceptions to governmental immunity. So that is, let me make sure, Title 42, subsection 8542. And I'm looking at the exceptions to governmental immunity. And if I'm
You said 8542?
Correct, subsection 8542. Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, Title 42.
Exceptions to governmental immunity.
Correct. So
liability imposed. Okay.
This is how you would do a tort claims act. So you see where A is, where it says liability imposed?
Yes.
You see where it says 1 under B, vehicle liability?
Hold on, I got to pull the whole thing up now. There we go. A, yes, 1. Yes, I do. I see it.
Okay. Now it's going to tell you how they should not be liable for a few things, right? It's going to point out all what they should not be liable for, but you got to find out where it goes to unless, right?
Right.
All right. So now we're going to read subsection 8542 A1. What does it say?
All right. The damages would be recoverable under common law or a statute.
You reading 8542?
Let me check and make sure.
I see pardon me. B1. Forgive me. Read.
All right, no problem, brother. All right, we got it.
Wrong. Forgive me.
All right, vehicle liability.
Correct.
The operation of any motor vehicle in the possession or control of the local agency, provided that the local agency shall not be liable to any plaintiff that claims.
So they're already saying right there they shouldn't be liable to any plaintiff. No, man, we good. But it's gonna get to the unless. Go ahead now, read. Continue.
That claims liability under this subsection if the plaintiff was, during the course of the alleged negligence, in flight or fleeing apprehension or resisting arrest by a police officer
Were you
or
doing any of those
knowingly,
things?
not at all. And,
Okay,
and, and, and he, absolutely. Or knowingly aided a group, one or more of whose members were in flight or fleeing apprehension or resisting arrest by a police officer. As used in this paragraph, motor vehicle means any vehicle which is self propelled and any attachment thereto, including vehicles operated by rail, through water, or in the air.
So I just wanted you to see it because they said it real smooth. So some people, when they first read it, not you because I'm pointing it out to you straight up. But most people be like, man, so where does it say they liable? What can I use? Well, it says that the operation of any motor vehicle in the possession or control of the local agency, City of Duquesne Police Department,
Right.
that's the local agency, provided that the local agency shall not be liable to any plaintiff. Plaintiff for this tort claim would be you, Brother Brandon, right? So they saying that they should not be liable. So when are they not liable? Well, they're not liable when Brother Brandon is in flight or fleeing apprehension, but Brother Brandon just is in flight or fleeing apprehension, but Brother Brandon just
Oh man, my apologies. My stuff cut. Let me bring my brother back on here. My shit cut because I was taking the ears off. Brothers, up there you go. Clockwork.
all right. Now, plaintiff in this case, because you will be the one complaining about the negligence, right? Because in this case, enforcer is the tortfeasor.
My apologies. What happened was
good.
I read in the room that someone couldn't hear me, so I cut off my phone, my ear, whatever the fuck's, and it cut the feed.
Bro, no worries. Say no more. I'm about to continue where I left off at because we flowing and going. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we go. So that we can comprehend what you read, because it's saying that they should not be liable, and most people will get discouraged. Like, man, they're saying they should not be liable, but they're giving you distinctions of when they're not liable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So if it doesn't apply, then they are liable.
Absolutely. So they're not liable when, or if they saying that Brother Brandon was in flight or fleeing apprehension. Brother Brandon, when I asked you, were you in flight or fleeing apprehension?
Absolutely
the answer was okay. So then it also says that Brother Brandon, you would have to be resisting arrest. Were you doing that?
Nope.
Okay. It also says that you would have to be knowingly aiding a group or one or more of whose members were in flight or fleeing apprehension and resisting arrest by a quote unquote police officer. Were you doing that?
Nope.
Okay, so hold on. Let me make sure then. So if they're not liable when someone is in flight or fleeing apprehension or resisting arrest by a police officer, and they're also not liable when one is assisting or aiding a group, one or more of its members who were in flight or fleeing apprehension or resisting an officer. So now that says, hold on, let me make sure I'm comprehending this correctly then. And you are not doing, any of those, brother, then that means then they are liable. Because none of the things that would make them not liable is what took place. None of those things are true. Does that make sense? Does people y'all in the chat, does it make sense to y'all? Does it make sense to y'all what I'm reading?
Put a one in the chat if it makes sense to you.
I just want to make sure it's making sense to y'all. I went back and looked at some of the comments real quick. Matter of fact, I can look at the comments quicker if I just turn my iPad this way, and so I can see what y'all saying. Not getting it. You really not getting it? Okay, that's fine. Anybody else? Mordecai's like all the ones. Truth Seeker said hells to the yeah. All right, you said but continue. Okay, got you. Well, it's like, okay, let me put it in terms like this. A policy enforcer is not liable for negligence. Let me say it this way. I'm gonna say it this way. All right, so you're playing hide and seek. The one who tags you is not liable. If they tagged you and you fell and broke your finger because they ran so fast and pushed you to tag you and you fell and broke your finger, they are not liable for breaking your finger when you weren't at base. Y'all remember playing hide and seek, and the only way that the one who was can stop pursuing you to tag you to be is if you were at base. So if you're at base and the one tagging you does forcefully run towards you and pushes you and you break your finger, then they're absolutely liable for negligence because they're not following the rules of hide and seek. However, if you're one that has not made it to base and you're still trying to run, then you contracted to have your finger broken, possibly. So I'm not saying that's part of the rules. I'm just saying that is a casualty of being chased when playing hide and seek. So if we take it now back to Pennsylvania Consolidated Statute, Title 42, subsection 8542, the policy enforcer is not liable if someone is running away from them. If it's one or more people running away, trying to avoid apprehension or resist arrest. Right. However, Brother Brandon was at base.
Right, so they acted colorably.
So that's a tort claim. Period. That's a tort claim. Period. All right, and it's like that everywhere. Every time okay, so what is it based on? I'll tell you what. Nobody asked that, but sometimes my spirit does certain things. The reason why Brother Brandon was pulled over is because this policy enforcer is enforcing the National Highway Safety Act of the 9th September 1966. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. All right, because I want to make sure I quote it correctly. Matter of fact, it's called Public Law. It's Public Law 87-563. I'll put all of that in the chat in a bit, but I'm showing you what's being done and how it doesn't fit. And instead of witnessing against yourself, any of you, by saying because witnessing against yourself is breaking the law. That's Bill of Rights 5. You can't witness against yourself. So they have to prove their claim beyond a shadow of a doubt with verifiable, admissible evidence and a competent fact witness. If that's not there, then all you need to do is articulate that at the time that you were accused, the record, you don't have to say what you were doing or were not doing. All you have to state is that the record does not reflect that at the time you were accused that you were exercising a privilege granted by the state. All right, so let me see if I can find this joint real quick, and then I'll type it in the chat for y'all what it's called. It is called... Hold on, I'm looking at it. I want to make sure. Let me type Public Law 87-563, but I don't want to just hit the send button on that yet because I want to make sure I give y'all the title. 87-563, and that is known as the National Highway Safety Act. But I want to make sure I write it appropriately for y'all. So let me make sure I'm even saying the right thing. So give me 2 seconds. 87. I think that's it. Let's see. Let me type 9 September 1966. And let me make sure. Pardon me, I might be wrong, y'all. It might be 89-563. So give me 1 second. Let me make sure. I might have said 87 when I should have said 89. Let me double check. It is 89-563. I stand corrected. I was loud and wrong. Forgive me. Public Law 89-563. And this act shall be cited as, let me make sure I get y'all the correct citing. It is boom, 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 boom. National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act of 1966. Let me make sure I type that in. National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act of 1966. National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act of 1966. There you go.
Indeed. Let them know, Lord Party. Lord Party says he is giving y'all info that I sat through hours of videos to obtain. Take notes. Lord Petty. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's talking about, I think Lord Petty talking about that. One is the As Above, So Below series that we got out around the way. You know what I mean? At Lawful Living. So definitely, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's on the freedomfromgovernment.org website though, but I was just trying to stick to the meat and potatoes instead of like just promoting just yet. You know what I mean? With your permission though, if you wanted me to, or once I land my plane on this, then yeah, I wouldn't mind sharing a link for that for them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, indeed, mother, gratitude indeed. That's one of our elders there, bro. More to come. Good elder mother. That's my elder mother. Nah, I ain't gonna be selfish. To beat the bar as above, so below. Yeah, indeed, bro. So all right. So now that we got, and I put quite a few codes in here, and I'm not putting codes. Let me be clear too. I didn't put codes in here to say that the codes are your salvation. That's not why I'm quoting codes or knowing codes. The only reason we know these codes is because what we're solidifying is at the time that something was alleged that we were not in that capacity. But instead of us witnessing against ourselves by saying what we were and or what we were not, we just request the record that should reflect that we were or were not. And then the record will go from there. If there's no record solidifying that one was exercising a privilege granted by the state, and in Brother Brandon's case, there is no driver's license. That's why he asked you, well, if you had one before, why don't you have one now? Because I'm not impersonating an officer. Because I don't want to be charged with 18 USC 912 impersonating an officer.
So real quick, what he asked me is why I didn't have the license plate.
Oh, okay.
Because I had a license plate. And I didn't answer him, but I'll answer y'all. The reason why I ever even got one in the first place was because the officer that he said that I made mention of about beating, he kept coming to my home and putting stickers on my car, towing my car. And, you know, it was like, all right, well, the only way to avoid that from happening at the time, under threat, duress, or coercion, was to go get a license plate. And so I'd had the license plate, but then whenever I guess it ran out, I never updated it. That's another reason why the plate wasn't on the car. It was in the car. It wasn't on the car.
All right, bet. Okay. Well, all right. So, because you said somebody else in the chat said they dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, all right. So, with that being said, and I get it. Lord Petty is right. Um, again, one of our elders, another one of our elder mothers. I told you like almost 4 years ago. She like, Hassan, the only way she said where you're at now, because remember I was there real heavy with Brother Taj for real. Like it was to the point where I'm going to go eat lunch, meet him for lunch, him and Mother
Yeah,
Delilah.
sometimes you gotta prune your tree, bro.
Yeah, so what I realized was the dojo doors were being closed on me. Not out of spite. I just don't think they could take me further than where I was going. And so there's this one mutual sister. Shout out to Sister Najima. That's the sister that had let the elder mother know, and the elder mother was like, "Yo, you need to go over here at Lawful Living and check out what Malika and them doing, and stay there and study, and then bring this back to these Moors if they're willing to listen."
I fucks with the sister Malika. She reminds me of when you get a chocolate covered M&M and you take all the chocolate off.
Yo, stop. Yo. You are crazy. take the candy coating off.
Yeah, every time chocolate. I see her, just in my own way, I laugh because that in my head, that's what I see. I see it.
Man, Moors were grilling me because I remember when I had invited her to come on an office hours with Dr. G with me twice, right?
You still rock with Dr. G?
And then, well, at that time, like I said, the dojo doors were closed.
Right. Gotcha.
So at that time, and
it's not just
Moors over there. There's also like there's Albions, there's Moorish Latins, because and what I'm seeing, and this might be heavy what I'm about to say in a room full of Moors right now. When Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, "Help me in my mission to bring my people back into the constitutional fold of government," it's so many Moors that I've spoken to through Lawful Living. And one out there, one brother near Illinois, shout out to Brother Jadon. He's like, "Bro, no one's carrying out the Prophet's mission more than what y'all doing at Lawful Living."
I mean, I see it. I see some of the work right now being done in the federal movement with the peacemaker and unifier Donald Jiggy Trump, but that's a whole nother thing.
Hold on. It's funny you said that because Malika actually pressed his hand in her journey. So
I have intentions to do the same.
We think
just real quick.
Okay.
Because there's no happenstances. Mm-hmm. So before we came on here, and I was scrolling before I got inspired to come on, I seen somebody's post where it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm bringing it up because when you start making that reference, it'd come to mind, right?
Okay.
So he was on there, right? And so he comes in, right? And you know Carlton, right? Mm-hmm. He goes, "The Donald!" I'm like, "The Donald." I like that shit.
Yo, bruh. That whole thing they're doing with Elon Musk and Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency.
Loving it. Carrying out the laws, man.
It's everything that was being talked about when the good elder brother was, soon people will not be able to, they're going to go to their ATM and it's going to go, right. Saying stuff like that's what's happening, bro.
Yeah.
However, what's ultimately happening is I'm going to leave the European here long enough to tell the truth. That's what's also happening.
Absolutely. We're supposed to learn from them. I mean, to me personally, right, if for my because I'm glad that none of my students said anything, right? I kick people off when they say I'll be on.
Oh, really?
I know that this is a phrase that you utilize, and I know that when you say it, you don't mean any harm by it.
No, I'm talking about our pale skinned sons and daughters,
brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I mean, either way, however you want to say it, yeah. You know I'm dealing with the science of the astrology. usually in the forefront of my mind. You know what I mean? Well,
No doubt.
yeah.
No doubt. I just know that. So I went back. I left Allah and went to Anu. If you follow me,
I'm listening.
the Anunnaki, right? And
Okay.
so I know that all of these bodies, if you will, these avatars, are hybrids from them hominids. Every last one of them, whether they're
Okay.
dark or pale. And so
Well,
that helped
all Moors.
me. I'm just, you know,
No, I'm
from
saying that it's all Moors. Anything come through the woman is a Moor.
period. All right.
Yeah,
boom.
yeah,
All right. Say
yeah.
that.
That's
Absolutely.
why I said I'm using
I
the
tell
science.
everybody, you're a Moor if you wish to be. If you're not a Moor, you're not human to me.
Yeah, I mean, bro, at the end of the day, we are for peace and not destruction. So
Right.
even when it comes to, you know, okay, if we went in the etymology of the word black, because black can be used as you was using it earlier, jurisprudently with the kiwi liter mortuus, right? In the Latin, the V is pronounced like a W, right? In the kiwi liter mortuus, that's a political dead in the view of the law. However, we know linguistically speaking, black denotes pale. So the real black people are the pale skin. If we were to honestly be like open, so the real black people are the pale skin. If we were to honestly be like open.
Again, that was all my fault.
You good, Chief? You good, Chief? No
Again,
worries.
bro, my apologies. Yeah,
No worries. You fix.
I don't put on my. Yeah, because I got two pair. You know, these ones conked out on me.
Okay, that's dope, man. They got camera in them too.
Not these ones,
You got the Ray-Ban
but
joints with
these,
cams in them.
but these ones do.
Oh, that's dope. How do they work, man? Just a little sidebar.
So the camera's right here, and I would press this button. You see the light is coming on.
Oh, that's dope.
And so I would have, and then so if I press this button twice, it takes a picture. But if I press it once, it takes video until I press it again. I was gonna go up in the courtroom like, but then it was like, you know what? I don't even need to do that. I don't need to do it now. You know
I mean, nobody needs to know that you are making a record and keeping a record.
That now you follow me. And then I have a laptop where I'm able to, you know, the cord connects to the laptop in there, and then I'm able to. Right. So there's a SIM card here as well.
Oh, that's love. That's dope.
Oh man, this thing, yeah, man, and it's not.
That's dope.
I ain't paid $400 for these neither.
Okay.
You know, them Ray-Bans is up there. You know.
I'm gonna holler at you off the record, man. See what that's
So,
about.
The ones that I have on are supposed to be the translation ones. You know, we in the retrograde right now, so it wasn't connecting. And then as I'm reading into the app, it's like, okay, you get the first year free, but then you got to pay X amount. And it's like, I really didn't want these for the I got them because I lost a pair that I did like that looked like these.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the ones that look like these, the glasses, they tint with the sun and all of that. Right. But they're basic, just like, right. So when I lost them, I grabbed these thinking, I was like, oh man, you know, I was going to trade out. I'm trading out the tint for the translation part. Gotcha. And then I'm not satisfied with these ones. I'm gonna toss these ones when I get my other ones back. I ain't gonna hold you. The left side likes to click in and click out, and you know, a lot of bullshit. But yeah, for the most part, I fucks with these, man, because I be out moving around. I don't like anything in my ear. I really don't.
Okay.
You know, I can't hear you. I can't hear you if I'm listening to who's in my ear. With these, the speakers are right here.
They're more external, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, so they sit right over your ear.
Okay.
So you can hear what's it going in, but you can also hear out there. You see what I'm saying? That's okay. Yeah, that's why I rock with them. Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you.
Try to tell you, technology's in, bro. I'm waiting for the joints. I'm waiting for the joints that Vegeta and Goku wear. You heard? One glass, nigga. We on it.
I don't know why it's doing that, Mia Moore. Maybe you had to go out and come back in. I don't know. I mean, because the off-duty alibi page is specifically to assist people. And I know a lot of people talking about consultations and things like that. Like, I mean, because I do keep a tight schedule. I am helping a lot of people
Frieza.
across the land. You know what I mean? And it's honestly, I trust that what I'm doing is carrying out what the prophet intended, because my thing is, and you know, I get it, man. Nationality is always the order of the day for me. I mean, I'm always when I'm demonstrating being myself outside of just being around my immediate loved ones. Really, if I'm not laying down, I got my fez on. I'm just gonna keep it a band with you. You saying?
Hey, I hear that.
So I'm just keeping it a band. I'm so used to it. It's 10 years. You know what I mean? Of doing this, right? But the thing is like, my mindset is no matter what your standing is, right? Again, nationality is the order of the day. First and foremost, you know, you want to declare and proclaim your nationality. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna give you logaria of how to do so. However, if you're someone who calls themselves things that have nothing to do with Moorish science, you still have remedy. And it may not be remedy at law. It will be remedy in the truth that you're not exercising a privilege granted by the state. I don't care who you are. If you're a giant that's orange with green polka dots, and you call yourself a giant orange, green polka dot people, when that policy enforcer pulled you over in your giant motorcycle or giant land conveyance, whatever it is, were you exercising a privilege granted by the state? I don't care if you worship a beaver's tail. Were you exercising a privilege granted by the state? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think Prophet Noble Drew Ali was assisting people that weren't Moorish Americans. Like,
yeah, everyone was up in there, man.
Yeah, it was stories that got handed down. I remember when I went to go, once Mother Delilah brought me to Mother Rashida Bey, the Sayaraha for the National Association of Moorish Affairs. When she brought me, I'm going to yield. I'm going to wait till bro come back. Tap the screen for the brother, though, y'all. Y'all got on the 9.6. Do that for him. Tickety tap tap, tickety tap tap.
No, ma'am. Come in, G.
You know, brother Shem. I heard of Shem. Yeah, Shem was with Abdullah.
Yes, ma'am.
That was a whole part of the dojo doors closing. That's when I realized what was really going on there. No love lost. I realized, like, yep, okay.
Ever.
Got to do the SpongeBob. All right, I'm gonna head out. Yeah, mother, you're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that was never there.
Okay. You don't have to rescind anything, Mia Moore. You just can stop using shit. You can just stop using stuff. When rescinding the license, it gets relinquished correct back to the issuing agency. You can give it back to them if you want. You can cut it up. You can never use it again. You know,
yes,
what I mean? Honestly, you can keep it. You can keep
I'm in class right now.
You know what I mean? It's really just your choice.
But I wasn't gonna cut you off. That's why I called you on the other phone.
It's really just your choice, you know, when it comes to that.
No, I didn't. Oh, okay.
Going back to read some of this chat, y'all. Let me see. 3 people said they're dealing with the same thing. Okay, mother, got you. See, I just go to show you how these policy enforcers is out here not really comprehending the limit of their Terry stop. They don't comprehend the limit. See, all statutes being enforced have limitations. And they think the limitation is it applies to everyone. If I can see you, you're in the state. Like, I can quote a California in the California Family Code. It'll tell you in
Mhm.
California Family Code 3421C. In the California Family Code 3421C, it'll tell you that physical presence
Right.
doesn't mean that you're within the jurisdiction. Physical presence does not mean you're within the jurisdiction, and that's in the California Family Code.
Well, that's cool. You
Subsection 3421C.
Mhm. Well, you make sure that you rest and you keep your alarm watch close, okay?
Yes, mother.
I love you.
I say that all the time. That we're all Moors. Yeah, I don't care if you're
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
if you're a pale skin, if you're a copper tone, if you come out that womb a woman, you've been moored through a process called oogenesis. Oogenesis is the process where an egg leaves the ovary, right? The ovum leaves the ovary, travels the fallopian tube, and then it moors itself to the endometrium, which lines the uterus of woman, awaiting the defibrillation of what is called a sperm cell, right? And once that defibrillation takes place and there's some activity of that defibrillation takes place, you know, because like a defibrillator, someone flatlines, they get a defibrillator to make the heartbeat come back. So
right. My mother actually had one placed in. My mother actually just had one placed in her heart, the one I was talking to.
Oh wow. Okay, I trust that.
Yeah, my mom. Yeah, my mom suffered a light stroke, then another stroke, and then a fucking heart attack, and then after all of that, she got hit with the flu, and then so my mom, at first they were putting stents in her heart,
Jesus,
and now she has now she has a defibrillator in her heart.
Oh wow.
And she was calling to let me. I'm her home health care aide. I'm actually on the clock right now.
Okay.
Through my passport, so no federal taxes are taken out, by the way. Right. And my background came clear, right? But so she's just letting me know, because since she's been out the hospital, all of my other brothers, them not understanding that things happen as they are for the reasons they happen. They want to keep their eyes on her. They're basically acting like they done wrap my mother in some fucking bubble wrap. You know what I'm saying? But she's letting me know that she's home alone for the first time. My brother actually didn't call me and say, "Hey man, can you watch mom while I go out?" Nah, nigga, I got shit to do. I'm right down the street. But anyway,
As long as you're close.
Yeah. My brother Danner owns 4 or 5 houses on this. Well, thinks he owns, because you know what the deal is. On this block, like 4 or 5 properties on this block.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't a executive officer, director, or principal shareholder of a member bank.
He's a tenant, man. He's a tenant. He's running around with a piece of paper. He's a tenant, bro.
Is he doing farming and ranching?
No, he was doing farming. Hear me out.
Hold on, hear me out. I'm using specific HUD language on purpose to point out that he's probably not in contract with HUD like he should be, because that stuff only applies to public housing, the mortgage and the lease, because they're both leases.
But I'm sure you can identify with this. When you come into certain information and you wish to go, teach your people, and they look at you from this lens that's all fucked up and think you're crazy and lost your rabbit ass mind, when they ain't even found this, that's kind of where we at right now. I can't even bring this up to him.
Familiarity.
All right, man. Well, you show, yeah. All right, yeah. Man, nail on the head. There you go.
Yeah, that's just how it be. I get it. Like Eddie Griffin has said, he's like, "Oh Jesus, I knew that nigga when he used to walk in his bathwater, man." Like, stop, yo. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, all right, but that's basically somebody saying like, "I knew you then, so I'm judging you off."
I don't see no change. Yeah,
correct. But I think Drake had said in a song, to say that you knew me means there's a new me.
Ooh, I like that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
I like
so that's
that. Not enough to get it tattooed on me, but I might get a shirt or something like that.
Hey yo, that's
Well,
funny.
when I hear
That's hilarious.
phrases that hit me, I put them on my body. But so
Okay.
far, only one's really hit me. You know, I think it's in Romans. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah, that's repenting. Correct.
Absolutely. That's from
Yeah.
my prophet Reverend Knight. You know what I'm saying? One of them good more still in the church teaching that life science. You know. Absolutely.
Yep. All right, I'm still reading this joint, then I'll go back to where I was.
My apologies.
No, you good. I'm just reading the chat, man. I ain't want to, miss anybody. We are all shades of brown. Period. A piece of paper.
Absolutely.
And the background on the screen is black.
Absolutely.
Brother Shem. I already said, yeah, Shem was with Abdullah. Like that's because Shem had came right after I did a lecture with Abdullah. Like me and Abdullah
I
was
don't
the
mess
last two
with
speakers
any-
in the lecture.
I don't really mess with too many Masons.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bruh, the real masonry is just the workings of nature.
Yeah.
But when they lodge
Right.
certain places and try to only know
anyone-
this over here, it's like
Anyone that tells me that they are the son of a widow or a widow's son, they tell me that Allah is not the husbandman. And I know that in the first chapter, we know that the husbandman is there. So, I don't hide the truth.
And that's when people are they're regurgitating the words absent the science.
Just on another quick note,
yeah, go ahead.
I just before I jumped on here, I put some information on my page showing that Drew Ali started off as a Freemason, then a Shriner, and then he took all of the naughty parts of all of the stuff that causes division. He threw that shit away and gave us this as the plain truth for everybody. Like I have evidence. You familiar with Dr. Abdul Hamid Suleiman?
Sounds familiar.
Dus Muhammad Ali?
That sounds familiar too. That sounds like who Prophet Noble Drew Ali was around when he was coming up.
Exactly. So Dus Muhammad Ali was a Sudanese Egyptian, absolutely. And he's the countryman of the brother Abdul Hamid Suleiman. Abdul Hamid Suleiman, when he came, when people say, oh, Drew Ali went to Egypt. No, nigga, Egypt came here. And Drew Ali got in line. He heard what it was and he got there. And then of all the information that was being presented, he was willing to come out here and tell us what it is. But anywho, Abdul Hamid Suleiman, yeah, he was the high priest. He was a free, he had the fast with the sword and all of that. And he came here telling like, yo, ain't no real Shriners out here. Colored or white. Y'all niggas only got 33 degrees. We got 96, etc. And then he's actually the one who started the movement. I've had some people try to come at me in the past, but it's like I'm not going to defend the truth. The truth stands on its own. Mm-hmm. So that old Canaanite temple, mm-hmm. that was established by Abdul Hamid Suleiman. Drew Ali didn't establish the temple. He founded what was to become his this beautifully plain truth. He was started there. That's where everybody was coming to get this info, because Abdul Hamid Suleiman came here to America to unite the so-called Negroes with the Syrians and the Turks. And they established one temple in Newark, New Jersey. And then in New York, they were establishing mosques.
Okay.
This is all there, but
Yeah, Islam. I mean, yeah, bro, Islam. I mean, hey, I know that the cause.
Bro, my bad. I got online yesterday, and there is some, we'll just call them zealous Moorish Americans.
All right.
And they didn't like the fact that I was, presenting the purity and the love in Islam. And it was like, you're a loser. So when we got off the line,
Wow. They said
yeah,
that?
oh man, it was bad. You know how there's these Moors who they get a little drop of knowledge and now they want to go and tell everybody how to do them instead of doing their goddamn selves.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. I was on the feed, I was teaching, and you know the brother comes in and his name was like Moorish god of Atlantis, something to that effect.
Oh,
You know, and I bring the brother on, and now he trying to teach my class and shit.
Jesus Christ.
And then I'm like, look, bro, you know, we don't do that division. You know, like he was telling me that, you know, Noble Drew Ali was from North Carolina. And I'm like, well, bro, I have evidence of something else. Oh, and then all of this dumbass, you know. And so when I got off the live feed, they had taken a picture of mine, and him and a couple of other people were trying to run me through the mud on their live feed.
Okay, that's not Love Tree. That's
Right.
not chapter 25.
So I told the brother, like, you know, so the issue was I was teaching them the difference between, I don't know if you know, or if we ever really spoke on it, but I have a basic foundation of Arabic.
All right.
All right. And so I was teaching the people, I was giving them basically what's called tajweed or pronunciation class.
Okay.
And I was explaining to them that Moslem is not pronounced Muslim, it's pronounced Muslim, right? And that when we hear people say Muslim, it's because of the accent where they're at. And I was explaining that if you were to take that word in Arabic and go around and say Muslim, that word means detestable, right? And so I was just trying to show people. I wrote out the brother CM Bay, right? Like the M stands for Mosley, Mosley. I was like, now if I drop the Y and put the M, why does the Mo go to Ma? It doesn't, right? But they were telling me that I was lying, and I'm like, come on, man, y'all niggas don't even report.
I mean,
Y'all don't even know
Arabic. Why wasn't they just taking it? And this is why when I share information, I'm like, this is just according to my studies thus far. No one has to believe me. And that's how I take when people are sharing their information. They're just sharing their whatever they're studying, where they are. It's not up.
Yeah.
That's not chapter 25. When we go out,
well,
into
you
the world, we're
already
supposed to
right.
remember the bonds of affection.
Now, mind you, these are people who they're not into the Circle 7 for sure.
Oh.
I just call them what they are. They soft sits, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because they out here talk about they nationals, but they ain't citizens. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. My prophet spoke on national citizenship. Like, he brought them together. You know, and he's like, you can have an allodial title. And I'm like, absolutely. But you're telling me this stuff. Can you show me yours? Like, don't just be a piece of wood pointing. Show me the way.
Yeah.
You know, and they didn't like how I did it. And so now I'm all types of liars and I'm a Mason. And, you know, I'm like, nigga.
We're all freeborn Master Masons and Eastern Stars.
I'm not, I don't see. That's the thing. I know where you're getting at.
Yeah, you know, I'm
right.
using the
but I like, see, I speak against that.
You speak against the Zodiac Constitution for real, bro?
Openly, absolutely. I have a whole joint on TikTok, YouTube about it. Absolutely. We'll speak about that because I don't wish to. Yeah. So anyone using that, do you have the preamble that goes with it?
Yes.
All right. So you know when you read it, it tells you, it gives you the warning advisory, right? That you know there was basically at the time only like 4 members, right? That were permitted to, like, you know, you have to be a member to utilize it, right? It shows that, right?
That's okay. Right, I'm listening. I know what you're saying.
No, because I know that this brother's saying like, hey, it's a long. So I was explaining that, you know, like according to them, we're Native Americans, and according to this AA 2221 for one, we're not Muslims. He never uses the phrase Muslim,
okay, at
all. And I also feel, I'm of the opinion, put it that way,
okay,
that he slighted the prophet's work in certain things that he said. But that's for me,
right? I'm not
No,
here to
look,
just
I'm willing to build with you. I will never beat down because
Right.
I've grown past that part of my ego. The word debate means to
Right.
beat down. I Moors don't
Oh
debate.
shit. Right.
You know what I mean?
So
So go ahead. I'm
so
listening.
in his organization, which he just so happened to, institute or incorporate on August 1st. That's an important date, right? For the prophet. Anywho, he calls the Europeans white, but he does not refer to us as such. And so you're making this division. You're giving that high social status away. If I'm not white, I'm black. That's just how it goes, because we know that these are social statuses. Either I'm civilito mortus, which is black, or I'm civilito vivus, which is white. And so it's just me with and just for the group, I am autistic. All right. So me having that nitpick of on specifics, when I came to know that, I realized that, I'm like, yo, you know what? I can't rock with this, because I'm not going to ever identify as a Native American when I look at the SF-181 form, which is the race and ethnicity form, and I see that white has the definition, the categorization is people having origins, a person, or an identity having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. My prophet kept telling me I'm North African. And I understand that North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe, as is relating to 1491 prior, that's all under Islam.
Okay.
So when you're telling me that I'm Native American, and that's dealing with tribalism, not nationalism, they're different. I don't wish to have that classification because my prophet made it clear to me. You're white, right? White means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. Ruler of the land means true possessors. I'm a true possessor of the Moroccan estates here in America. I'm white. Well, excuse me. I'm secure. White means secure. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have a whole dissertation on my YouTube channel.
Okay, so let me add to your wisdom. Now I'll because I stopped at speaking about Mother Rashida Bey when your phone rang, and I was saying that once Mother Delilah took me to Mother Rashida Bey, the Sayarha of the Great Sale National Association of Moorish Affairs.
And then, pardon me, let me stop you.
Mm-hmm.
The Great Seal is the one I remember years ago when I was using that information. I was putting it on Facebook, like, yeah, and I received a call in my messenger, and I don't know who it was, but at the time the individual was saying that they were one of the high ranked whatever, and he told me but I'm just saying, he told me way back then, right? You can't use that unless you're part of the org, and I'm like, nigga, if it worked for you, it worked for me because it's all ours, right? Now that was the mentality I had, right? Because I get it, as long as you act, but as I began to study and me understanding that AA 2224141 it's an EIN, is right, and I have one for myself that does the same thing. It was like, hold on, why would I be running around here using someone else's shit where their students get benefits? I don't get any benefits. I'm not even a student over there. So I have my own.
You already know I'm ready to unpack that, right? Okay. So, all right. So once I got to sit with Mother Rashida Bey, what started happening once it got back to Brother Taj and Brother Hannibal,
how's he doing?
Brother Taj?
Yeah, I heard he was down bad. Last I heard of him, he was down bad.
I only speak to Mother Rashida now.
All right, I hear you. Say less.
But Mother Rashida will let me know what's going on because she loves me, Hannibal, and Asir. That's how I was able to get connected with a seer through Mother Rashida.
That's the only person that I don't talk shit on is a seer. I can't be mad at a seer.
Bro is bro. He legit.
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
Bro is bro.
And
right.
And bro, I know I ain't as short as the bro, right?
Mhm.
Right? But if I could get the fucking drip, oh my stars.
Yo,
that brother, I'll be like, oh my God. Man,
stop.
come on, bro. That brother and his wife, they're beautiful when they garbed up, man. That shit right there, be. He's the reason why I wear my turbans as much as I do, because in my mind, I'm like, I know I can't look as sharp as him, but I'm out here.
Whatever your best.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying,
bro? Hey, look, man, that bro, he looked like, he got the little Frenchman beard, spit ash. And there's this movie where there's this Morris brother, right? I can't remember the name of the movie. He was a darker, beautiful, chocolate complected brother. He was all grabbed up with the purple, whatever. And he had a paler skinned woman as his wife, whatever. And, he's telling her, like, yo, I got to go out here and look for this something. And I'm like, yo, that's how that brother would make. He made me look like he looked like that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
I'm like, yo, that's the fucking look I'm looking for. Me being all wide, I ain't got all it. I ain't got the fit yet. Somebody gonna have to tailor it to me.
Yeah, you're hilarious, but bro. All right, so
hey, man.
Where was I going? Okay, so Great Seal and the Zodiac Constitution. What I recognized was once I was around Mother Rashida and I was sharing with her my mindset. I shared with Brother Taj my mindset. And what I think and then when I was speaking with Brother Hannibal on multiple occasions, what started happening was they started giving me information, or people were referred to me to give me information, because either, like, I remember when Brother Taj had a sister, I won't say her appellation because I recognize that maybe people were under orders, and me getting a certain information and books given to me by this particular sister off of Brother Taj's suggestion. Then Brother Hannibal gave me some higher levels of other things, and then Mother Rashida made sure I had some things. And then this is what happened all at this time. This is like 2018. Did you recognize how many people got their hands on this information and then they started making groups and then going to jail?
Yeah.
Do you recognize the one? Did you recognize I didn't?
Yes, I do recognize.
I'm gonna tell you why now. The reason why is because I didn't allow myself to be held in the confines of only this particular type of group can use this information. And when I was speaking to Brother Taj and Mother Rashida, they was like, okay, then you're going to have to do what you need to do to teach those that's going to listen, because that's what we're trying to tell these people, but they want to be dogmatic.
Man.
And